Get it right. You'll be sharper by day and sleep better at night. GoldenRatioProducts.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We've got a lot of things going on, and I know we got Jess over there. Jess, what's going on in the world?
Oh my God, so many things are going on. I started reading this story, but first off, okay, is it me? I'm afraid to talk about it because then something's gonna mysteriously change. Is it me or is the weather really weird? And by that, it's like really like chill and calm.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been out much. But I like. Do you mean like okay, it's June and it's kind of like, is it the June gloom thing going on, or is it what's it like there in your area?
It's pretty cloudy, pretty cold. So usually by June we're like in what the 90s.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's kind of odd, at least a bit. So hopefully we'll get a cool summer. That's what I'm hoping for, at least.
Yeah, I think we'll get a cool summer, and I think if anything, maybe by July we'll get probably a hot summer ish. I don't know, probably there'll be a heat wave, and we'll see. But I think if anything, I will say this, within like a day's time, all of my stuff when it comes to computer like works differently, so nothing's working right all of a sudden. It worked great yesterday, but all of a sudden the app that I use it changed to like Apple and I'm like, what just happened to everything? So if you have something or a device not working all of a sudden, it's a setting that just happened. I don't know. I think AI is writing code. That's just my theory, and that's what I'm going to say. Actually, we were going to have a bot on, but everything's malfunctioning so much. I'm like, did the bot change some? Like, I don't really know. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, Jess, what's going on with just, anything?
Just in general, today the release of Avatar: Way of Water, is that what it's called? Avatar. I'm just gonna call it Avatar 2.
Yeah. The second one, right.
Yes, yes, yes. It just came out for streaming on the Disney Plus service, so I'll probably end up watching that sometime later today or sometime this week.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, well that's gonna be fun. I did see that in yeah at the movie theater, and I will say there's a moment where it kind of is like slow, but when you're sitting in one of those comfortable chairs, you're like and I almost like fell asleep because I felt like in a meditative like moment that they had when they're in the water. I don't know if you get that same thing at home. I don't think that kind of happens, but anyway, that's a theory. I'm gonna stick to it. Jess, what do you think is going on in the world when it comes to just like you know I'll give you an example. Okay, there's a lot of things going on in the world, right? And a lot of people go, okay, what will happen when, you know, it's hard to explain because people are all over the place. But it's kind of like, okay, what will happen when things kind of go weird around the world when it comes to like, certain things that people haven't really been talking about when it comes to like viruses? What do you think about that?
Are you talking about like COVID and stuff?
Just talking about anything in general.
I haven't seen anything weird about like health spikes, so maybe they're just flooding the news with other stuff and people aren't talking about it.
It's funny that you say that. That's actually that's actually true. You kind of hit it on the nail. That's exactly what's happening. They're throwing it up, and everything is about. I'll give you an example. Sometimes Jess and I would go, okay, should we do the show today, or should we just kind of let it go? Because sometimes there's nothing in the news like we haven't already talked about, right? And sometimes there's stories that I go, oh boy, and then there's some stories we go, oh, maybe we should just stay away from. And then there's some that we go, man, there is nothing happening because it's just kind of like right now it's entertainment, so it's all about the Flash. It's all about DC, all kinds of reviews about either positive and or negative, and then there's like reviews about all kinds. You go, okay, I don't know. So and then when you go to the world news, you go, whoa, so much more interesting. There's so much happening around the world. So I think we're kind of getting, in a way, segmented in a way to get ready for politics. Yes, because I think everything will be political for the next until honestly the next election. I think because everybody's, I don't know why 100% media does this, but I have a theory and it's called money. So when you're paid money from either a Republican camp or a Democrat camp, rarely a independent because they were money. Then you pretty much kind of, you have to kind of talk about that stuff, and then everything's skewed to that. Everybody kind of pulls to that, and then you go, oh, okay, because a lot of people are kind of confused. They're like, I thought Trump was going to get, like he was, like there was huge coverage, and I said nothing's going to happen. He's still going to run. So I said, why would somebody who gets like, almost in prison, like, fingerprint and all that, go as a president? Because you would think like any one person or anybody like you, Jess, if you went to prison, do you think you could run as president like later or not really? I don't know.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, I probably would not.
Yeah, I think they would call it out. They'd be like, "How dare Jess? And anyway." So that's the story, and I'm gonna stick to it because I don't really know. I think it would be called out with other circles, but with the Trump, it's just not gonna happen. So it's kind of like, did it even? And I told people this. I said, everything you're seeing, it's not. He's still gonna run. And people said, "No, he's not." I said, "He is. He is." That's what you're gonna see. Then you see on the opposite side everything about the president Biden, and then you're gonna say, okay. And by probably next year, around this time, you're going to be like, all right, I've had enough because it's all over the place. And then I just hope it doesn't happen like last time. Yes, remember where people unfriended and like got rid of people right? You know who your friends are. You know what you're pulling for. And sometimes the conversation even goes that way, and you want it to go that way. So I say, look, here's the thing. In 2020, I did talk a lot because I kind of had to because everybody was saying coronavirus was a thing. Well, if you've ever buried anybody with coronavirus or you're dealing with the repercussions of what coronavirus brings, then you go, oh, okay. I'll give you an example, Jess. I had a conversation on the weekend, and somebody said to me, okay, and they said, oh, I'm so glad COVID is no longer a thing. And I said, what do you mean it's not a thing? And they said, when it was, my God, it was just horrible. And I said, yeah. I said, wait, hold up. I said, so, and what they were saying in essence was, it was like it happened last year, right? And I said, okay, well, I buried some people. She goes, oh, yes, that's right. I buried someone as well. And I said, yeah, well, here's the thing that we're watching, and we are, because we always we have to watch, the scene around the world or the world news, because what we're seeing in China is a huge spike. Taking to certain, news media was what we've noticed, right? We talked about it last week, Jess, so we were kind of ahead of it. We're behind it, but I saw it in honestly, Fortune magazine where investors go, oh, that makes sense. So I say go where investors go, then you go, that's where the world goes eventually because they either invest or do not invest. So if you go there, then you'll be smart about it. Then you go, okay, I'm with the smart money. So do that. But the smart money is saying, well, if China's having a problem when it comes to COVID and spikes are there, well, we put usually one and one together. That's what we did in 2020, just really early on. We said, I was in China. Eventually here, that's where Lambda started. That's why you talked about Spires and all that, and then it eventually happened here. But Lambda didn't make a huge debut. I don't know if you saw that, but for those that actually got it, did they get well? Did they not? I honestly don't think people really keep track of what they get. Oh, and then she said, well, because we talked about long haul COVID, which has talked a lot about as of late. I don't know if you know anything about that. Do you, Jess?
I do not.
Okay, that's called okay, there's all kinds of things that they're saying. You could have been let's say, okay, ask this person, how many times did you get COVID? Not gonna lie, I haven't gotten COVID once. But she said 3 times. And I said, okay, that makes sense. I said, you're here, obviously, so that's good. She goes, yeah, the first time, I didn't even know I had it. And then she's talked about it the second time and the third time. But the problem, and I told her this, because a lot of people are talking about it now, is the repercussions of having COVID at all, okay? Even if you had, which she did, she had the vaccine. But then she said, isn't the vaccine a problem as well? Didn't the vaccine cause something? And I said, oh, interesting that you say that. So there is an answer for that, but it's very hot topic right now. So I don't think we should talk about that because then they'll say, oh, how dare you? How dare you? And I say, well, okay, just look at certain things that they're saying about certain, ones that may have, been given. But at least you're alive is what you really have to kind of throw in there. But it's like anything. I told people, I did research. I said, I went with Johnson & Johnson. I know they had a little thing, but technically Pfizer had a bigger thing than Johnson & Johnson, but that got squashed. And then Johnson & Johnson got oh my God, when it happened in a small percentage. So I'm like, what? She's fine, she's safe, she hasn't had COVID. But anyone who's had COVID, that's why I say keep track of which vaccine you got. Anyone who's had COVID, you may have what they call long haul effects, eventually, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and it's going to come out for probably the next year, where they say, oh my God, we didn't know it caused that. We talked about it, Jess, a few times where we talked about the body. I talked about a friend who maybe drank when she was 20, maybe for a few months. Maybe, a weekend, drinker, not like an alcoholic. Anyway, later on, at the age of you and I, Jess, she has right, earlier this year, and then she had her liver problems, right? Like as though she had been a drunkard for the rest of her life, like a 50 or 60-year old who drank all the time. Like if she needed a liver transplant, it was that bad. So she has problems with the liver, Jess, and that, my God, she did not look the same after that. So can cause, even though you're fine with it in the first, like, whatever days that is. They went from all over the place. It started with like 20 days down to 14 mandatory quarantine down to like 5, and then they put everybody back to work. Then everybody got basically. But is the real culprit of a lot of these. It stays in the body, and that's what people don't understand. Your body, the initial, like, sniffling and all that, all the stuff that look like cold and or flu and or cold, basically go away, but it could still be in the body, kind of deteriorating certain parts of the body or making it worse. Okay, so if you ever had a liver problem, guess what? It gets worse. How much? I don't know, but that's why a lot of people that had and or any coronavirus say, "Oh, I get well," but then you go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Well, this is wrong with you, this is wrong with you, and this is wrong with you." You go, "What? I didn't have," and then at some point, probably in about a year, they'll say, "Did you have coronavirus?" You say, "Yeah." They say, "Well, it's probably that." For example, people are saying they get amnesia and or dementia from coronavirus. You're like, no, people got amnesia and or dementia way before coronavirus, but not in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, Jess. So you're going to see a lot of people being forgetful in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, like an old person. And you're like, what caused it? Caused it. So that's the answer. So it's not over, and the repercussions of having had it is still in your body. I think that's the part that even a vaccine doesn't really say, oh, I help you get rid of that, because somehow it's in the body parts. A very smart person who used to be with us actually said that. They said, look, it attacks the cells and it goes underneath the surface and it stays there. And that's the problem with it, because they have lung problems. Okay, so I'm like, whoa, that makes sense, and that's the answer, actually, especially with So don't get coronavirus at all. It's still going around. People are still getting sick. There's a new one which is around. They're trying to label it. They really don't know what it is, and some are saying, I don't even have coronavirus. But now, are you getting a lot of people that are sick, Jess, and or around you, like maybe like with sniffling and or sneezing and or anything like that?
Not that I know of, just me.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, you don't have. You get well all the time. But my point is this: like people in a circle, right? People in a circle may get it, and they may give it to someone else. But again, it's June, Jess. So this is not cold weather. Meaning, sniffling, sneezing, all that. That's usually spring weather. That's like allergies, right? If you have allergies. But June usually is not. It's usually like warms up. So rarely does a cold happen in June. So that's what they're looking at in certain, like I talked to a very smart few people actually, and they said, yeah, this is a problem. We don't know what it is. And I said, well, I have a theory, because I talked to another person who's actually like across. He's just in a different area. Anyway, long story short, they should really get the same room. But what he says, there's a new virus. It resembles coronavirus, but it's not. He says it's different. This one's different. So then people go, man, I've had enough with just, talking about this. Let's just talk about something else. So I say, okay, let's talk about, fun and or film, and or something else. And then they go, well, I don't want to even talk about that. I go, okay, something's coming and it's in the air, Jess. And I think it's called depression. Depression is coming in a lot of ways. And I think it's because of this, to be honest. And I could be wrong about this, but it's called finances. People are not able to pay their bills. Did you see there was a huge thing over in the school district right next to us where they basically, like a bunch of cops and a bunch of, like, I think parents and or teachers, I'm not really sure, got into a big, like, did you see that, Jess? People are getting upset out there, and it's happening in, like, at a school. Did you see that?
I did not see that. What school district was that?
Yeah, LAUSD, I think. Anyway, long story short, Jess, so some people got like hit in the head with like a foot by like somebody just like, oh, I'm gonna kick you, and I'm like, what is happening? Go ahead, Jess. What do you want to say?
Was it about the Pride protest or something like that?
Yes, I don't even know what that's about. I haven't followed that. I have no idea what it's about, Jess. What's that about?
I have no idea, but it's Pride Month, so usually when I think people are arguing in schools, it has to do something about that. At least during this month, anyway.
Yeah, it's a. I don't even know what it is. I don't know who said what, because correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, no one's ever said anything about that, right? Is this something with the restrooms, or is this something else that I'm missing? I don't know. It's got to. But my point is this: can you guys just chill? Can you cool off? I wouldn't blame coronavirus. virus for that. That's just called, your mind is off, obviously. But I saw some people like literally, like not just hit people, and then you have a bunch of police people. They're like, dude, I don't know which way to go because we're just like, it's like one of those. Okay, you know those westerns where they get into a saloon and somebody starts fighting, and then they start hitting everybody. Everybody participates. It's like that. Go look at that news. You'll be like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, okay, so I just saw the video and yeah, it looks like a giant mob fest. That is absolutely crazy.
In daylight, Jess. In daylight, and those are parents, Jess.
Yeah, oh, good Lord. The parents are probably like, don't try and convert our kids. They'd be like, first off, no one's trying to convert your kids. If they're gay, they're gay. I mean, just accept it. Stop trying to do. I've seen so many parents like they literally throw their kids out once the kid tells them or something like that. It's horrible.
And is it that? I don't even know if it's that. I don't know what the school district is doing, but there are a lot of people just going like, and I get it. A discussion can go like, if a discussion could go like that, I don't want a discussion about that. I'm like, I will do it virtual, and will they shoot me in the end? Like, is that what's coming next? Because they went violent, Jess. I think there's going to be some people kind of locked up because no like mass, so they're going to call it out. And when you hurt like a police officer like that, I think the police officers got there for a reason to kind of keep the peace in a way, or keep safety, right? But you go, come on, they're parents. What's going to happen? Jack, this is bad. What area is that, by the way?
So I'm reading part of the article. It says on Friday, dozens of parents descended on Satakoi Elementary School. Elementary school.
Oh my
Okay.
God. Oh
In
my
North
God.
Hollywood in protest of Pride Month assembly. Parents organizing the protest said they were not condemning the LGBTQ plus community, but wanted the right to decide what and when their children are taught on the subject, which I can understand.
Oh, I get that because okay, and I could be wrong because it's all over the place. I think the LA school district said some, or they did something that they shouldn't have. Okay, and they made like something really upset. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was restrooms. I don't really know what it was. It was a topic way back when. I political, but whatever. The point is this, okay? Everybody agreed on it, right? We have the triangle, right? Which is like neither he or she, right? It's just called, anyone could go into it. That was a huge topic. Then they kind of, put it into place, and now it's a thing. Right now, there are places like Subway that don't even let you use the restroom no matter what it is. They're like, no, for us only, employee, right? But technically that's illegal in certain areas. But anyway, long story short, or maybe it's legal. I don't really know. So the point is this, okay? We really gotta sue. Seriously, we need money. Okay, so the point is this, okay? There are going to be a lot of people upset like that, Jess. And then guess what? When they go home and or with their families, you kind of want to know who those people are. So if you recognize any one of those, you stay away, okay? Because that's a hot topic, any which way, right? And I get that because they're like, dude, I don't want to talk about that. That's and I get that. But then the others are like, no, we need to talk about that because we need to kind of like make everybody happy, which is because we did something dumb, which I think the school district did, and that's where we're going. But doesn't it remind you in a way? I know I'm totally that right now, but okay. And okay, before Trump kind of became president, there was this huge thing. I know because I had conversations. I was like, man, you guys are angry for the wrong reason, or you're mad for the wrong reason. But it was this. It was called, those that are here. Okay, they didn't want certain school districts taught about. They actually banned it in some areas like ethnic studies. Do you remember that? This reminds me of that, Jess.
Uh, what do you mean ethnic studies?
Okay, in certain areas like Arizona, right? There were what ethnic studies. Basically, let's teach about like okay, Heritage Month and all that. It's a very loose way of saying, hey, let's talk about not just U.S. stuff, but let's talk about other stuff. If I say it right now, you're gonna be like, oh, it's that show. It's not that show, but I'm just saying it's kind of the same thing because that happened over there, but now it's happening here. But now it's happening with the LG. Hold on, I know it. But anyway, it's happening with the community, right? So that's the problem. So I think people are going to get really mad and angry, and I'm just saying, I think if they get the virus, they're going to give it to each other. So I'm going to say, guys, you need to get along, and if you go to prison, just do the time, man, and then just say, I'm so sorry, I was so dumb, and that's all you need to say. Okay, so that's a story. I'm sticking to it. What do you think, Jess? Do you like? I don't know if it's right or I don't even know if I can say right or wrong. It's just don't hurt someone else, over something that you could discuss very calmly and very simply. You like it or you don't. Big deal. All right, you have an opinion. Like just, it's gonna happen. Like I thought we were understanding. What happened? I don't know. Anyway, there's a story. I'm gonna stick to it. Don't get upset over it. Don't hurt me. Ah. All right, we'll be back right after this. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Join West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants each Wednesday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Daryl focuses on successful businesses from California's southern border to Canada, including the great border states of Arizona and Nevada. Every week, Daryl provides in-depth discussions and interviews with prominent leaders and innovators that makes all of our lives better and more productive. West Coast Business Review with Daryl McCants, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock p.m. right here on Smart Talk Radio.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027. Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. I will tell you right now, things are working. I went to my phone. I checked out an app, and it was like totally mixed up. And now it says Apple TV. It wasn't Apple TV yesterday. I'm like, okay, did they buy it? What happened? And then I went, and I have more than one Facebook account. Okay, everybody knows this. Anyway, and so I went to log in on that. Usually it just switches me to it. Now it says enter your password. So I'm like, okay, something is not working in, like, you know, or something just got reset. I don't know what that means. But anyway, so if you have any thoughts on that, actually, I'd love to hear it. But I think there was a reset digitally. I don't know how that affects everybody and or anyone. I know a lot of services run on certain, like the same program, like Amazon. If Amazon has a down moment, a lot of services operate on that. But yeah, I don't know what Facebook's operating on, but it never says password again when I do it every single day. And it's a simple thing. You just switch. You know, some people have like, oh, this is really good for you guys. This is good to know, by the way. They have a children's account that you could set up. It's friends or family. I think in Gmail. I think Gmail does that. I don't know if Facebook does that yet, but Gmail does that. And it says, do you want to set one up for your kids? So, you know, but it's more like a kid's version, but I think you can monitor it, but it's for a kid. So anyway, I thought it was a good idea. So I don't think Facebook's doing that yet. But anyway, and I know they have certain like privacy things, and you know, you're like, what kid needs to be on Facebook, seriously? But the point is, you know, they have, you know, is it coming? I can see it coming because they want to play with Oculus, because they have to play with their parents' Oculus, right? But so I see that actually in a weird way. All right, anyway, we got a lot of things going on. Jess, what's going on in the world?
Well, I am currently laughing my butt off at a man who was arrested for trying to rob someplace, and yeah, he used an absolutely stupid weapon.
Oh God, what did he use?
Can you guess? Just one guess, or no? I'll give you a couple guesses. Like what would be stupid enough, like gun shape that you would rob a place with?
Gun shape. Okay, okay. So it wasn't a gun. That's the tip off. Okay, it was a gun.
Wasn't
It looks like a gun.
yes.
Okay, it looks like a gun. What would be stupid? And he used it. And did he get called out on it?
After he was caught, yes, because they figured out what it was.
That's great because if it was a real gun, he'd have more time. Okay, so banana,
No, no.
cucumber,
My God,
squash,
no. Do you remember the?
eggplant.
No, it wasn't a vegetable. Do you remember the Duck Hunt gun from Nintendo?
Oh
The
God!
Zapper?
Wait, wait, wait! Did he find his old Nintendo set? It said quack quack, shoot bye bye. Like he really did? He have that? That's a big gun. That's orange and white, right, Jess?
It's a fairly decent size piece. It looks like he spray painted it black, but he kept
Oh,
the trigger orange. I mean, that's a dead
oh,
giveaway.
oh, poor.
I,
Oh, I feel
I,
sorry for him.
right? I give him props for trying. I mean,
No one knows what that is, huh? Okay, okay, okay. You have to be a gamer, and you have to go way back when. I think to the '80s. I think. Shout out to my friend Matthew Martinez. Matthew Martinez. His mother used to babysit me. Rosie Martinez, love you. She's great. She's still friends with my mom. Anyway, long story short, he got it. Okay, I didn't have Nintendo. He got it. His family got it. Okay, his father. He's actually no longer with us. Gilbert Martinez, love him. Anyway, he got it for his son. I think. Okay, we played like in the middle of the night. I think we woke up like at 3 or 4 a.m. We started playing, and one of the first ones that it came out with, everybody, this is like flashback to the 80s. Was it 90s? No, it was 80s. When Nintendo came out, it came with Duck Hunt. Remember that? And it was an orange gun, and you're like, and you shoot at the TV ducks, and there's a little dog. He got it really quick. I a while, but you have to shoot right, and it's called duck hunt. So you shoot them in the air. They take up from like the floor, and then when you get it, the little dog goes. Right? Here's a little laugh, right? It's really cute. It's really cute. But it was new and it was cool and it was like, whoa. And when he I'm like, dude, I want one. But it took me a while to get one. Anyway, I finally got one. And, I was like, okay. But I don't think I got the one with the gun. You're right. I didn't get it. That was like a limited edition, right? So he got that. Oh, did he get arrested, Jess?
yeah, he got arrested. He did not make it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I I mean, you could have easily gone to like a liquor store and got like a squirt gun or something, but he used a Nintendo Zapper.
What
So,
did he hold up? It was a Nintendo Zapper. What did he hold up?
let's see. I believe it was a quick stop convenience store in York, South Carolina.
I literally had a dream last night about a liquor store. Actually, it was a stop because there's this jerky, beaver jerky, and I saw it. And I go, "This is the one I want." It was the weirdest dream. He goes, "Yeah, I used to sell it a lot. I'll get more for you. Just need to come back." And I go, "Yeah." Then I woke up. I go, because I had to go get money. And I know it's jerky. If you can find it, it's awesome. It's really good. Anyway, it's good jerky. They don't have it anymore. It used to be at the convenience stores. They had like a little. I think it was a beaver or something like that. Go ahead, Jess.
Did you say beaver jerky?
Well, it wasn't actually jerky of a beaver. It was like a little mascot on the front of it. Although I think they make it. I think they do make beaver jerky. But no, it was a little guy, and he was like a beaver, and he was on the front, and I was like, oh my god, it was a different picture, and I was like, oh, that's kind of the one. And it was really good jerky. It was like a stick jerky, but it's better than the jerky they have out there. They have stuff that's close to it, but it had a flat top and a flat bottom. And I used to take it, honestly, to the theater, and there was a 7-Eleven that used to have it, then they got rid of it, and I'm like, dude, where's it at? And there's one when I was traveling to Texas. I kind of saw one along the way, and I said, maybe it's that one, but I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't look the same. Anyway, so that's the story I'm going to stick to. Anyway, liquor stores, evidently is a thing. If you have a dream of that, don't go hold one up, okay? Just, and especially with a gun that's made of plastic. Which I think is the story that you're really wanting to say, right, Jess? Like, why would you do that? You might get called out on it. People have guns now. Did you see, Jess? Okay, there's footage. All right, you could probably look it up. There's a guy who was actually in his own garage. Okay, his own garage, attacked by a couple of guys. I think there were a total of 3 or 4 guys. They took off in a vehicle. Thank God he had his. I think it was a camera on the back of his vehicle. It was on. Thank God. Anyway, how does that record? I didn't think they did that. Anyway, okay. So long story short, maybe some people have that installed. It's like that dash cam thing. Anyway, if you look at the footage, okay, they come at him with pepper spray, Jess, pepper spray, and they want to rob him in daylight, right? And he was like, dude, they came at me in daylight. But he's actually, I think, I gotta look at that story. But he's definitely he's military of some sort. Anyway, so they attacked the wrong guy. That's the problem. They attacked the wrong guy. Anybody else probably would have gotten mugged in their own house, and then but in broad daylight, and they got on camera. So I guarantee those guys are going to go away because somebody's going to say, "Yeah, I recognize you. You're dumb," and maybe they'll offer a reward, right? It's those cards. Any card that has black all the way through. I have a question on, and I have a theory, and I think police officers, you need to start because technically that's not legal to be pure black. Have you seen those, Jess? Like where I love tints. Love tints. If you want to get me a Batman vehicle, I will drive that forever. But the point is this. Certain vehicles have in the front, right, the window, black, all black. That's a safety problem because if someone, I don't know if you've seen it. You'll see them. Anyway, there's a thing that I think goes with this, okay? And it's usually the guy, but sometimes the woman in the family, that may be like something eventually, because in every single when they say we do not know who these people are, yeah, of course you can't see them, they have black windows all the way around, and I go, well, isn't that like that, you could get pulled over for that. I want that, I want that tint, but it's not legal. Is it legal? Did somebody make it legal? Anyway, the point is this. Those are the vehicles that you go, wait a minute. If I'm going to be a cop, I go, you see that vehicle? Let's pull it over. Because A, you can, and B, that's why I say, just get those vehicles with the right tint. Those are technically not the right tint. They used to be back in the day. Okay, they call it not, it's even darker than limousine. It's like the back of what a limousine has in the front. Have you seen that, Jess? You haven't seen that, huh?
I've seen those extremely dark tints, and yeah, those are illegal. So I'm surprised they were able to get away with it.
They're all around town here in LA. Yeah, in Lancaster too. And and I'm like, when did that happen? It happened in 2020. All of a sudden, I'm like, was there a special that I didn't know about? Anyway, the point is this. You have that. Now, there's a legal tint that you could do. It's a little lighter than that, but you're supposed to be able to see, okay, if you go, okay, let's put it this way. Let's say your little kid is crossing the crosswalk, right, Jess? If your kid wants to cross, they want to make sure to see the person who's driving, right? And they want to get the okay. Do you see me? Do I see you, right? With those, you cannot see, which is good if you're hiding, if you're want to not be identified. It's great for that, but that's my theory. I think people do it for that. I think they're basically they're gonna steal and or rob. That's why. Anyway, that's what I think is gonna happen. But technically, cops can pull you over for that. So I would be aware of that. So I would just change it. If it's that way, change it. Say, I do not want that ticket, because that's a ticket, and then they'll get you for something else. So if you have something else that you kind of weren't paying and or paying attention to, guess what? That's gonna come up. So don't do it. Just don't do it. You can get a legal tint, but that's not a legal tint. I got a legal tint for another car, but then I wanted the darker one. He says, oh, well, that's for some vehicles. It's like limousine, I go, oh, okay. But it's still not almost all black. And these ones, when you see the picture, you'll see all black. But it's a thing. I keep seeing it. And I see it in cars that actually get beat up. So the people are not safe. Meaning they have dents all around. You know what I'm talking about. You probably drive, you're going, dude, I see that car right now. Okay. And it's black all the way around. Yeah. So it's like, well, yeah, they don't want to be identified. So I have a theory on that. I say, and I've done this actually, I kid you not. There's a guy down the street. I saw his woman. She was beat up, okay? I'm not going to lie. And so I said, okay, I'm going to take that. And I put it into my phone, okay? And I say, okay, just in case. You never know. Then I did this little thing. I probably should have, but whatever. I followed them down the street because I go, oh, they're local, right? Now, if she goes missing, I go, aha. I know who it is, because I saw her with a black eye, and I go, yep, he beat her. But it was black all around the car. So I'm like, It's a mentality. It's a thing. I guarantee it. If you're with a guy, or you get with a guy who has black all the way around, he may be tough for a little, but he is a beater or a guy who does not want to be identified. So I'm going to say that right here, right now. Okay, so, watch that. That's all I'm going to say. You'll see it, and then you go, and then you watch them. Like at Walmart, right? They go to Walmart all the time. Sometimes Target too. Anyway, and some of them all the time. And you go, Then you watch them, you go, they have a certain mentality. Sometimes they're nice, but man, do they have a flip switch. Did you see the homeless person who attacked somebody in broad daylight, Jess?
That happens all the time.
Yeah, it's been happening a lot more with a lady. She went on a little kid just all of a sudden. Like started, did she stab him? I don't know. Anyway, it's weird out there. Be careful, people around you. Yeah, broad daylight. The little kid was walking with his little backpack, or she. I don't really know. I wasn't watching it. Anyway, and the homeless person, little, was just walking with like a bunch of like jacket, being all nice and like warm. And then went at the little one. I'm like, if that was my kid, I would just But so there's gonna be something happening there because they mentally they're just not getting well out there, and so there's going to be a problem there, I guarantee you. So everybody's getting violent. Those are parents at school. Yikes. Then there are people on the streets. Yikes, that are going to attack you out of broad daylight. So you can't even make sense to them. And I know because I used to walk when my car got, basically abolished. Anyway, so long story short, that's the thing. So you got to be careful, all right? And if you come across someone, just kind of walk a safe distance. If you look at them, don't look at them in the eye. They get weird. Just kind of notice them, but walk a little further. So if they come at you, you could block them. Jess, we got to have something that can block someone. Remember that person that went at somebody with a metal something? Seriously, it's weird out there in LA. So I would say just it's not that weird over where you're at, Jess, right?
Yes, it is.
Really? Okay, I didn't think. No, it can't be as bad as LA. Come on, Jess. What are you talking about?
No, I think it was like a few weeks ago. There was some lady that attacked some other people with a machete. A lot of crazy stories happen in Hemet, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense in a way. But okay. So look, I live in the LA area. I'm always like, okay, I'm gonna be safe. All right. Pasadena, pretty safe. San Gabriel, kind of sketchy in certain areas. Monterey Park, kind of sketchy, like more on the main streets. But go to a park, you're fine usually. But if you come across somebody that's like you can just tell they're talking to themselves out in broad daylight, you walk the other way. Okay, take your kids and just get out of the way. Just don't even give, I know I'm sold out right now. I used to give money. Okay, I used to give money. I'm not gonna lie. But now I just see something going kind of weird with them. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're talking to or who's talking to them, telling them do this, stab them. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what you're getting. So you got to be careful. I don't know what's in the mind of them. What told you to go and a little kid walking probably to school? You got to take that kid to school from now on. So it's gotten to that. So anyway, that's the area. Okay, all right. And people are getting worse, Jess, because honestly, they're not able to pay their bills. That's the problem, and I guarantee it. Now the rich, they're fine. They're like, what are you talking about? Oh, like Manhattan Beach, they're fine. Okay, I got friends there. I should probably go there and visit. I got a friend to visit actually. You know what? I'm gonna make that a point. Anyway, so that's the point, Jess. There are certain areas that are good. Okay, I gotta go get my haircut right now. I gotta go to Arcadia, okay? So Arcadia has pretty good, okay? Pretty safe. Anybody that knows Arcadia, good, safe town, okay? It's not what it is like in certain parts of LA, but technically it's part of the LA district. Part of San Gabriel, but whatever, it's the same area. It's not San Bernardino, it's not Riverside, okay? So that's the area that I'm in. That's where I broadcast from, okay? That's basically the studio. Now Jess is in the Riverside County, but he's all over the place with San Bernardino and Riverside, right? So Jess knows a lot. Hemet's really, is that more? What is that? People always get mad at me because they go, how do you not know the area? You're, in our area. I go, yeah, but I'm not always in the area. But Hemet's more, is that San Bernardino or? It's San Bernardino, right?
No, it's Riverside County.
I always get that mixed up. Okay. Because
Riverside on the far right side or something like that, I believe.
Yeah, San Bernardino actually covers, get this, I didn't even know this, the, way up north, okay? So San Bernardino is very big. It's actually bigger than LA. A lot of people don't know that. They go, there's nothing there. I go, man, there's a lot there. There's a lot of land. So there's a lot of communities and a lot of homes being built, but I go, but who's going to afford that price that you're going? Seriously, it's just crazy. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
All aspects of divorce are up for discussion on Divorcing Your Mortgage, Fridays at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific Time. Divorcing Your Mortgage with your host Mark Gertz will emphasize finances in real estate. Mark is a certified divorce lending professional and along with guest experts will cover the entire spectrum of divorce in America. What you don't know can hurt you. Find out what you need to know every Friday afternoon at 4 p.m. Help find solutions to your financial uncoupling on Divorcing Your Mortgage.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Summer's almost here, and you know what that means. Sunny days and hot temperatures that make you want to stay inside. Franklin Mechanical Systems can repair or replace your air conditioning unit to get it working before the heat hits. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems is the one for all your residential and commercial air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000 and get cool today.
The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff and spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Banning, conveniently located off the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
Hello, listeners. This is Christopher from The Christopher Show. Hey, if you missed one of our shows here at KMET, don't worry about it. You can go to our webpage, and that's KMET1490am.com. Go to the homepage, click on the SoundCloud tab, and hear any show anytime you want.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Big shout out to Leonor Perez, who's tuning in and liked our video. We appreciate. We've had her on the show in the past, and that means I think something's coming pretty soon. So it's called. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, Jess, what's going on in the world?
Oh my God, there was another. Remember when I was talking? I think it was last week about a bunch of orcas, knocking over boats and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, there's another report about a orca or a group of them. They ripped off the rudder off a boat, and they followed it all the way back to port.
Wait a minute, what's going? Did they get smart all of a sudden? What's happening? Wait, hold up. I need to put some perspective here. Okay, hold up. Everybody knows Shamu.
Oh, I forgot about Shamu. It's been so long. Yes, of course. Older generation, I guess.
Okay. Everybody knows Free Willy, right?
Yes. We love Willie.
Do you love it when it follows you home, when it disables your ship? Like, I've been like, what's wrong, guys? Seriously. Like, seriously, you're like, what do you do, Jess? If that were you, what would you do, Jess?
I would not be out in the ocean. I don't like the ocean in general.
They're smart. They say they're smart, Jess. They're called killer for a reason. They may be nice. They may be cuddly. They may be so cute. They may do some things for you a little. But when they get mad, man, they get mad.
Yes. I saw a video footage of, a group of orcas, and they were attacking 2 gray whales. Gray whales, they don't do nothing.
Yeah, they're getting mad and angry. I don't know what's going on. And they're getting postal, man. They're getting like human. They're getting like human. I think if they were promoting Aquaman right now, that would be the story. Is the wildlife in the sea saying no more? You guys are polluting it. What did those ship people do to those orcas? That's what I want to know, Jess. Oh man. Okay. So question. Okay. There's a movie about this, by the way. Beast, I think is what it's called, with the guy that I love. I can never remember his name. Idris Elba, I think is his name, right? Good movie. Haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer. And I said, that's going to happen at some point. I mean, okay. Let's put it into perspective, okay? This is for the people that say they have faith, okay? Noah, all right? I just got to throw that out there, okay? There are a lot of stories about it, but let's just say it happened, okay? let's say God said, okay, I'm gonna put all those animals on a, whatever you want to say, and well, okay, let's say he says, you know what, I'm gonna renege now, and now I'm gonna make them all mad at you because now they're gonna fight back because it's really theirs before yours. Think about it. Like when you think about, just forget evolution. Okay, just forget that for a moment. Okay, just and it's a theory. So let's just go with, which came first, Jess? Let's go with animals, and or you.
Well, I always come first, so I'm gonna go with animals. Well, dinosaurs would be considered animals.
You go, yeah, you got it. It was a good question. You got it. So there you go. So animals came first, right? Okay, so that's what you know, obviously, right? That's obvious, right? But then I say, okay, which came first? Plants, animals, and or people that eat meat.
Obviously plants, fungi.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Okay, so plants came first. There's a movie about plants that talk to each other and they attack you. Well, weeds, okay, called Poison in the Air. Maybe that's what people are getting, I don't know. I still got this stupid stuff. I haven't gotten rid of it. Anyway, long story short, Jess. Okay, long story short. The question I have is, do you think maybe the world may fight back at some point because it's mad and angry at people because, because if again, Noah, just throwing her out there, just saying, do you have faith? If Noah existed, right, and if animals did get on a ark, 2x2, some sevens, is there a possibility that maybe the wildlife in wherever may all of a sudden say, forget it, I'm going to hurt you now? Because if they could be organized enough to get on an ark, maybe they could be organized to follow you and track you and hurt you. There are some people that go, you know what? I think there are some animals that do not like me. They habitually attack. Okay, give an example. Bees that attack a person. Have you ever been with a swarm of bees? Look that up. That's a thing as of late. Bees are attacking people in LA. Did you know that, Jess?
I did not know that. I do not mess with bees. They don't mess with me. We have a low level of respect. So the moment they cross it, I'm going to wipe them all out from the face of the planet. I'm just joking.
See, they heard that. They go, zzz. They go, I don't think so, Jess. We band together. Anyway, look, the story is that obviously it's going to happen at some point. I think wildlife's going to say, we've had enough. I think it's now. I think it's a whale. Oh, it's so sad. Anyway, that's the story. I'm sticking to it. All right, Jess, what else is going on?
Oh my God. Well, first off, have you ever seen the movie Orca from 1977?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's happening now. It's about an orca that is obviously way too smart, and he got really mad because a bunch of hunters killed his wife.
Oh.
And so he was just he ends up holding this town hostage because every boat that escapes, he crashes and just destroys them.
Oh. I didn't even know that happened.
Yes, yeah, it's a very overlooked movie, mainly because Jaws, it's scarier with the shark, but I thought the movie Orca was scarier, plus it was a traumatic opening. I don't know. Ugh. But it was a interesting movie, so it kind of parallels what's happening here. For all we know, who knows what they're doing to the orca?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, they beat whales in the head. They're called dolphin. Maybe they talked a lot, and and then the door. Ooh.
That would actually be, that would be crazy. I would not want animal life to talk to each other, especially squirrels. We can't trust squirrels.
I'm not gonna lie. You're not the first person who said they don't like squirrels. I love squirrels. So cute. But someone was literally. All right, I'm going to throw this out there. Crystal Santos, love you, okay? Crystal hates, she say, why are you putting this out there? Whatever, okay. She hates anything squirrel, but squirrels come up. Have you ever seen, what's that? Okay, it's Cinderella, right? Cinderella, they sing, and then all the little wildlife comes around. Deer come around her, little birds come around, like a little squirrel. Oh, I want to say hi. She goes, ah! And she freaks out because she's like, rabies. And I go, ah! Because there used to be one around her house that would scurry. And she's like, what is that? I go, but if you know her, she's a martial artist. Is she doing anything martial? Okay, we got to promote that. Anyway, long story short, she hates squirrels. 100%. Hates them with a passion. Don't ever have a squirrel in her vicinity. She'll be like, no. It's the only thing that scares her. Knives don't scare her. Swords don't scare her. People don't scare her. Squirrel scares her. And she told this to a friend. The friend, she said, look, because the friend says, "See this little squirrel?" He put his little finger next to the squirrel, and she goes, "Why would you do that? They have rabies." And so I think she believes in that whole, did I have another life? I think she died in a life of rabies, and I think that's the reason why you have that little fear. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, anyway, we're going to tag her in this.
She's your cousin?
She's my friend. That's what we're going to say. Okay.
The best thing for you to get for her for Christmas or her birthday is a taxidermied squirrel.
That would be you. I'm going to say from Jess. Love KBT 1490 AM. We love you. All right. We got to go. Make it a great day. Whatever you do, remember life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, so still here, obviously. Okay, here's the thing, guys. It's very simple, okay? There's a lot of things going on in the world, and we try to make sense of it. We say, okay, well, why, right? But I was out of time, so I'm like, I gotta end. All right, so here's the thing, okay? Now, there's a lot of things going on. People don't understand it, but you gotta, kind of, all right? Some people, they say they have faith, and other people say, I don't think so. All right, yeah, obviously doesn't have faith. But my point is this, okay, my point is this. There are people that kind of understand what I'm talking about. When certain wildlife goes against you, think about it, okay? Or just think about it, okay? What is it about you that they don't like? Or I will make peace with that. I will make peace. That's 100%, okay? Because there are some wildlife going at people in a weird way. Okay, if you do research, all right, you'll see that some people, and he said it, I didn't want to bring it back up, but he hates hummingbird, okay? Hummingbird, they don't like him. I think they communicate. But I have a theory on this, okay? So just hear it out. Just hear it out, okay? People love Noah, right? They don't even know the guy. Okay, got it. Okay. But you know the story, right? You know there's a lot of story about a deluge in other cultures as well. I really need to talk to some cultures like from Asia and other, because there's some you ever watch those stories about documentary about did he, was he given a different name? In certain cultures, he was given a different name, right? So did it happen? Well, when you look at the world where it's at right now, could it happen again? The answer, I don't really know about that. But the point is this. Could it happen in an area? Oh, yeah, 100%, right? Flooding happens, right? There's certain areas where they're now digging up and they're saying, oh, that's under a lot of land. There was landmass that came and covered it over. Or maybe it was a volcano that erupted all of a sudden. Nobody reported it because, they didn't have the news way back when. They didn't have helicopters. They didn't have TV. They didn't have video. They didn't have any cameras, right? Okay, so let's just say, for example, it happened. Okay, let's say there was a deluge, right? And it was talked about, right? And someone said, look, we need to keep it going. So, there are a certain amount of people said, all right, that's fine. But what if it wasn't a world deluge? Just throwing it out there. What if it's an area? And in the area, there were other people in another area, right? I would do the math on that because I'm pretty sure there are some people that go, how could it be a deluge all around the world, right? And I say, well, do research. There's something very interesting. They call it the Ice Age, okay? Now, people think Noah, they think, ooh, tropics, right? Tropical. They don't know how far back that is. They really don't know. Think about it. And then who wrote it, right? Who wrote it? Moses. Moses wrote it. Noah didn't even write it. Did he? Maybe he has a little, and there are some theories about that. Noah did write some stuff because he knew how to write, okay? And that was before that, there was Enoch and a bunch of things, right? All Hebrew, right? Where the story is at from other areas that may have survived, you never know, right? Okay, Africa. Africa. That's the answer. And I guarantee there's some new stuff coming up about that when it comes to, the world. And okay, there's a lot of scientists that go, there's something that happened and it was very extreme, okay? They call it Ice Age, right? Okay, so the question is, will that happen again at the rate that we're going? There's always this theory that the world will do, kind of like the show, it's really a movie, but Day After Tomorrow. Okay, Day After Tomorrow kind of answers that. Day After Tomorrow, they go all of a sudden real cold, right? But you go, that's a show. It's just film, whatever. In it, there's a lot of real good stuff, especially at the beginning, right? But in some areas of the world, not all, but in some areas of the world, it's happening, okay? They're seeing extreme weather. They call it, a lot of cold. Now, I think the orcas are actually kind of feeling that. So they're saying, dude, where do we go? Because you got to follow orcas, okay? Orcas are good with cold weather, okay? They are. They have a lot of blubber, okay? But when they go south, that means something's happening in the Arctic, and they do not want to be there, okay? They may be able to they survive. That's why they're called killer whale, because they kill anything alive, right? But they're treating humans kind of like, a sea lion. And or penguin. Yeah, I know. It's so sad that they actually eat that. But the point is this, okay? They have to eat to survive because they eat a lot of meat, right? And they rally up a lot of fish. They work together, and he's actually right. They're very smart. But I kind of think it came out around Jaws. I think they were like, dude, Jaws is awesome. Let's make, because it came out around the same time, but I don't want to tell them that. Anyway, point is this. Okay, point is this. All right. Let's say, just for a minute, all the wildlife bands together. I really got to see that movie. I know I said it, and usually when I say I got to see it. Okay, so Beast. Okay, Beast with Idris Elba. Great guy. The wildlife turns on them. Okay, but I think there's a story there. But just hear me out. Noah. Okay, whenever that happened, people go, well, is there an ark? Where's the ark? Right? And then there's some people going, dude, I found the ark. And then other people that say, I don't know where the ark's at. Right? But here's the thing. Don't go high, go low. Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes they say, well, obviously it was at the highest point. I would say, yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. But could it have gotten under maybe at some point? I don't really know, you know. Some say Africa is the area. Others say a mountain, right? But I say this, test the wood. Test the wood, right? But it's got to be a big structure. When you do the math on what the structure was, according to Hebrew scripture, that's basically a way of saying, look, you have to know, you know, the way they like measure. But anyway, it was huge, right? Huge. Square. Gotta go square. Not the story where they do like it looks all cute and stuff, like a little ship is so cute. No. Okay, that. So technically, they you know, probably after that, definitely, right? Because like, why is that thing? He goes, I don't know. I'm being told to do it. You know, it took him a lot of years to make it, right? And then, of course, thank God he had kids, right? And then they had, you know, guys going, dude, I want to get with you. And so they helped out, right? He's like, oh, good, I could help that. You know what I mean? I need help, right? I need help with that, you know. You sure you're going to marry him? Okay, well, then he better help me. So the point is, right? Whatever happened, okay, because there's a lot of theory on that. Well, evidently after that, they knew how to float because they were like, oh, there's this, right? They were given it right there. Nobody thinks about that. They were given how to be on water, how to float. I put a lot of people on it. So that's the first, like, you know, technically when you think about it, you know, Titanic, you know, or ship. I mean, it sank. Did it? I mean, after it, like, you know, okay, everybody off, you know, get ready to, you know, get on land, right? 40 days, 40 nights, right? It floated. They didn't suffer. It was the first recorded ship. Think about it. God gave it to them. There's schematics, all right? It'll float. Trust me. Just make it of cedar. Make it of this. Make it of that. And if you actually do the research, it's actually really good. Like, ship people know this. Certain wood you use, other wood you do not. But it floats. As heavy as it is, it floats. Isn't that weird? Right? Given to people that were not very smart. Think about it. Right? People think, caveman. I go, but somebody gave them information that they didn't know. Think about it. I think it's a, watch, there's going to be research. And somebody's going to say, oh my God, I know the answer now. Because if you actually, okay, here it is. You ready? Okay. Wildlife, right, in the water was not on that boat, obviously, right? When they were in the ocean, obviously. Aquaman, think Aquaman, okay? Now, Aquaman 100% makes sense when you think of it this way. Okay. Land animals on the boat. Water animals not on the boat, right? That makes sense? Everybody gets that? Okay, got it. Okay. That's why I think the Loch Ness is real. What? I said it. What? I think the Loch Ness is real. I think there are certain things in certain areas that people are like, but we haven't seen it. Probably some information come up about it. Okay, fine. Let's say it's fake. Whatever. The point is this. Let's say Noah was real. Okay, let's say animals, obviously real, right? But let's say they have a way of communicating and they go, yo, hate that guy. Do it. Do the research. They actually have a lot of technology that actually makes sense when it comes to animals. If you don't believe it, look at your vehicle. The vehicle, they actually determine certain like locus, right? The way they communicate as to like spatial awareness, really. Yeah, they did the research of the mind of a locus and they said, okay, I'm going to figure that out for driving systems. How does it know how many feet away, technically, a car is away from me so that I do not crash into it, right? Awareness, right? How does it track? How does it see, right? How do they not bump into each other when they fly? Right? Locusts are very interesting. They can fly as a swarm and never, like, you know. Why would they not do a flock of birds? You know what I mean? And geese communicate when they honk. Honk, honk, honk. Right? So, you know. I'm just saying, if orcas are, like, doing that, not before long when animals turn, you know, something. There is actually, back to faith. Okay, I'm going to say this really quick. There is a proverb about birds, you know, and they do something kind of weird. So I'm just saying. It's all adding up. Think about it. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But the point is this. I think it's a good theory to kind of go with. Okay, so let's say animals like Beast. Idris Elba, go watch it. Very interesting. I just saw the trailer. I didn't see the whole movie. But let's say they turn on someone, right? There's a lot of movies about that. But let's say they turn on you. What would you do? You'd be like, God, can you help me? Right? Think about it. Right? Does God communicate with that? There's a proverb about, a lot of you Bible readers that know you are. Okay, Daniel, right? Daniel, those that don't know, okay, that's fine. Here it is. Okay, Daniel, 100%, got up against lions, got thrown into a den of lions, right? You know if you're faithful or not when you go, that happened, or that didn't happen, right? You're like, yeah, I wasn't there. Okay, whatever. The point is this, okay? That's in Hebrew, scripture, right? That's called a written record. Go with that, okay? Because it's pretty old. Now, here's my question. On the opposite, because people think, oh, okay, well, here's a question I keep asking everybody. Well, when that happened there, and it finally got written down, thank God, what was happening around the other side of the world? Nobody answers that. Does anybody answer that? Anyway, the point is this. Nobody answers that for me. I'm like, I need to know the answer. Because at the time that was happening, there were obviously things happening in other parts, right? Egypt's technically in Africa, So, But what was happening in South America at the time? Think about it. A whole landmass completely unaccounted for. Was it underwater? Was it above water? Go Grand Canyon. You'll figure it out. But my point is this, okay? My point is this. Okay, it's very simple. I just want to know, does anyone have the answer about South America? And I know you go pyramids, obviously. Yes, I get that. And that's where I think everybody should agree. Because the question is, which came first? Aztec pyramid or, ta-da, Egyptian pyramid? Who came first? Where did life really start when you think about it? Was it South America? Nobody asks that. They go, Africa. I go, yeah, that makes sense. But what if? What if it was South America? What we call now South America, right? There's a lot of things South America, right? Did the waters dry up? Is it above sea level? Well, yeah, obviously. So the point is this. Oh, there it is. Sea level, okay? Sea levels, are they receding? Some areas are going dry. Why are they going dry? I'm telling you, there's a hole, all right? They're going somewhere. So that's the point. I think the hole opened up. That's the problem. Earthquake, there it is. There you go. So when certain water goes away in certain areas, it's because there's a hole somewhere. Or the earthquake, and now it's under the landmass, right? It's going somewhere. It's not evaporating. It's not doing that, right? But if it does, will it get cold all of a sudden? The answer, that depends. It depends on, everything else. There's a lot of, stuff that you got to account for. But it's very, 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 it's actually really simple. People don't understand. It's so simple. When the earth heats up, it evaporates water. It gets somewhere in the air, obviously. Okay, now, does it get a problem eventually? Yes, it's called humidity. Okay, when you have humidity in that area, you got a problem. It's called a storm, right? Coming in. Now, 2023 will be a marked year, guaranteed. Guaranteed. If you haven't done the research, you'll see it, okay? Insurance claims are not getting paid, especially in Florida, okay? And in California, they literally said, I don't know where they're at with that, but they said State Farm is no longer, I don't know if we read it wrong or it was put out there wrong, but they said they're no longer going to insure certain homes in California. I think that's because of wildfires. They should say, fire insurance. But in a way, that's a problem as well. So I'm going to go to the latest news, and I'm just going to click on it. And I'm like, where did this come from? I don't even know what this is. People are staying home from this? What is this? So this happened in 13 states. Okay, this is huge right now. All right. Oh, no wonder it's Canada. Okay, well, that doesn't concern us, does it? All right, whatever. It does. It says Canadian wildfire smoke live updates, air quality alerts issued for 13 states. So now Canada has, oh my God, I'm going backwards, seriously. All right, so that's what's happening. Okay, so now it's heading south. No wonder. Canadian wildfires have engulfed the skies over most of the northeast coast, prompting serious air quality alerts. Where were they when I was a kid? When it was all smog, I was like, why are we doing, stuff outside? No one listened to me. I know, I really said in my head. I was pretty sure somebody heard me. But the point is this, now they're hearing. So now they're keeping kids home. Air quality, really bad. Whatever. 13 states have issued alerts as the thick fumes block the sky and send people indoors. Right? Where was this at? When did this happen? Canadian officials said firefighters are scrambling to put out the blazes in Quebec, where more than 160 forest fires are currently active. All right, well, that makes sense. They're saying worst air quality yet may be headed to New York City. That makes sense. Yikes. It says the worst air in the U.S. Wednesday morning is in upstate New York from Syracuse to Binghamton, where the air quality has reached the worst level, hazardous. It says that air will move toward New York City and Philadelphia on Wednesday afternoon and evening. Tuesday brought the worst air quality to New York City since the 19th. I didn't even know it was that bad in the 1960s. Who knew? All right. You look at the pictures, it kind of looks like the 70s. I think I got the math off. Was it really that bad in 1960? Was that where smog was at in 1960? I know they figured it out in 1970. Then they were like, oh my God, what is this? Hey, yeah, that's you guys. All right. Anyway, all right. So there's the answer, okay, for the east side of the U.S., okay. But here's the answer that you're really looking for. The Ark, okay? Where did it exist, right? And when they find it, pretty sure they have already, by the way. They just haven't really, like, come out about it. I think they will at some point. They really need to. But when they do, okay, you should ask yourself, what really happened? How big is it? And is it square? If it's square, I believe it. It's right there, right? Accounted for in the Bible. But what's also accounted for, well, not really, is the time in between. There's a theory about that, but I have a whole other theory. I think before the time of Noah, there's a lot more we don't know. And they didn't really do the math. They didn't count, the way we do. I think Noah was a simple guy. Okay, I don't think he was like, hey, by the way, let's put year number this on that. I don't think he really did that. I think they were very general. That's why it's like 7 days, 7 nights. Boom. They knew the year. I mean, they knew year 7, pretty sure. Okay, right? And why did they go backwards? Or is that us later that did it at some point? Because that just does not make sense to me, right? Did they kind of say, okay, guys, because if you look at math in China, we're at the year of like 4,000 something, I think. I cannot remember. Jewish calendar, we're on a completely different year. So I'm like, when did that happen, right? Are you guys just telling a tale? I think someone told a tale, right? They said, let's just wipe it clean. So my question is, right, because I would be the guy, right? Maybe not the guy, right, which would evidently, whatever. Okay, let's go caveman. Okay, because everybody gets caveman for some reason. Let's say caveman started, right? Does the caveman at some point go, I get it right, and go, okay, this is year number 1, that's year number 2, right? Now at some point, right, they said, wait a minute, seasons. Okay, that makes sense, right? Who gave them that? Some say aliens. I say, well, I don't really know. But the point is this, right? There is a calendar, Jewish actually, that operates on moons and technically seasons. Okay, it's a round thing. It's really interesting, really interesting. It's in some Bibles actually. It's like in the back. Anyway, you do research on that. You go, okay, that's interesting. So they have a different year than technically what we call the years that we have now. Okay, we all go by a year. It's obviously 2023. But I have a theory on that. The point is this. That's why the new year is for Chinese, right? New year, right? Different day, different year. Well, Aztec had a different year as well. That's why they have that little round thing as well. I think that's what it is. It's a calendar. That's all it is. They're going, no, it spells Doomsday, 2012. No. It's cycles. That's all it is. It's cycles. You just got to, you got to read it right. It's cycles. That's all it is. Cycles. They go, no, it's prophecy. Well, maybe. That actually makes sense. Technically, when you look at the Jewish calendar, they have a lot of prophecy there, too. This will happen when that happens. That happens will this happen, You never know. But then they line it up and they say 607, whatever you want to call that. But why would they count backwards? Who would count backwards, right? Were they counting backwards to like, hey, what's going to happen at 0? Was there a 0 here? Was it 3? Did they say, hey, what year were you born? I was born in 100. Well, it's now 3, so how old does that make you? Will they go with subtraction? No one asked that question. I think they should ask. And then who was the person who said, oh my God, it's like the Y2K, perfect example for computers. You know how they did in 1999? They go, oh shoot, we forgot about 2000? We didn't even think we were going to get there. They're like, what? And then they're like, oh, it's going to create problems for everybody's computer. Is that what's happening? Is that why computers are like, did they forget about something? Seriously. Anyway, the point is this. Do you get it? I hope you do. The point is this. At some point, right, if you were like pre-1 CE, is whatever they call it, right? AD, whatever they call it in the year of our Lord. See, who calls that? You know what I mean? Did Chinese call that at the time? What was the calendar for Chinese that it was for, all Hebrews? Or Bible people. Let's just put it that way. Because Bible people are actually pretty long. Like, okay, my mom was watching a movie of, Nazi time, right? I think Hitler was dumb. He's like, dude, I know. But do you? Because, it has probably one of the oldest records about life at the beginning. Even if you say it's just a story. Right? And I get that. I totally get that. But the point is this. Even if it's just a story, just saying, wouldn't it be cool if maybe it lined up with some, like, other culture? And I think it does. I think it does. Because a lot of people did that research, and I looked at some of it. I said, that makes sense. But now I'm looking at a lot of stuff. I'm going, wait a minute. We're entering a time where we're like, whoa. Because the Aztec, actually, and I think that's coming back up, or Mayan, whatever you want to call it, but it was really Aztec. The Aztec calendar, the round thing with the guy, right? That guy? Okay, not good. But anyway, this, well, come on. They sacrificed, hearts to the god. I mean, it's the other guy. This is a bad guy. Whatever. The point is this. Okay, people are like, no, how dare you? That's our culture. Do you sacrifice people? They go, well, technically Jews sacrificed, animals. That's true. That's true. But did they sacrifice human sacrifice? I go, well, technically, you talk about Jesus. He was a human sacrifice. I go, that's true. You got me there. Okay, so see, it's all over the place. This is my point. You go, oh, right, that's right. So the point is this, okay? Do you get it? Like, okay, I know you don't because you're like, where's he going? Okay, so here's the point, all right? We're entering a lot of information, but I think it needs to add up because some people are not doing the simple math. And it's this, okay? Did people, give me an example. Okay, Babylon. Everybody knows Babylon. Okay, awesome. Now, in the movie, right? What? You identify the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see Eternal. Okay, it actually, is it called Eternal? The Eternals, yeah. The Eternals, right? Marvel, awesome. They come down. I know a lot of it's fantasy, whatever. But in there, they're really in Babylon. Okay, that's what you need to know. Did they? Obviously, Angelina Jolie wasn't that girl. But it talks about it. So you have Israelites in that, technically. They don't talk about it, but they should. They'd be like, why did you put Israelites there? Why that area? You know what I mean? Because Babylon, technically, is a desolate waste, right? But according to some Bible, it was talked about ahead of time, and then when it happened, it was prophesied. But they go, "Oh, that happened later." So they just wrote it in later. I go, "No, you don't get it." That's where Darius the Mede was actually told by a certain person, saying, "Hey, by the way, can we go back to Jerusalem? Because your conquest was told ahead of time. The way you were gonna do it, you're gonna dry up the river, like it was right there. We knew it the whole time." Huh. Yeah, that was Darius. Darius is like, well, then you know what? Why not go back? Why? You know what? Yes, do it. Love your guy. He's awesome. Wow. Just saying. So the point is this. Okay, now if you do the math on that, when that happened, right? There's a lot of calculation about then to now, right? Look it up. Very interesting. But the point is this: prophecy. Okay, prophecy. Is it real? A lot of people go, it's not real. All right. I go, all right, that's a good point. All right. All right. But some of you are prophesying right now. I've been having people go, I know this is going to happen. I go, what? No way, Jose. And then it happens. I go, what? Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's some people that actually can do that without even knowing how they do it. So that's one. Then there are people that actually make you pay for it. I have a theory on that. But then there are people that actually just kind of go, oh, okay. You never know, right? But it's right there. It's been written down for a long time. So my point is this. People are getting weird right now, okay? And that's the point. Why are they getting weird? I don't know. People say they're unwell. I say, yeah, they're unwell for a lot of reasons. But here's the thing that I say. I think there's going to be a lot of things happening eventually that you go, okay, we need to figure it out. All right, we got to figure it out. Now, if we figure it out, we can put it all together eventually. And here's what I think we could put together, okay? Math. It's very simple. Math. We got to put math together, okay? And here's what and I just need something very, I just need one person to say, okay, this lines up with this. I know there are graphs there, but they're all over the place. The point is this, okay? We're in 2023. By the calendar of, let's say, Aztec, what year would we be in? That's what I want to know because it's very old. Okay, and then we go, oh, now we know what happened if we do the math, because our count's all over the place, right? Who would think we'd count backwards to 0? What happened to 0? Did it? A lot of the world's like, that was going to happen. I mean, seriously, right? So you get it? So okay. So I don't think you get it yet. Okay, you'll get it. So 0, right? Is it? Did they go from 1 to 1? I don't know. Right? A lot of questions there, right? Why do we go with that? But technically, we do. Whether you are Hebrew or not, we go with it. 1 to 2023. That's where we're at. We're in the CE age, or whatever you want to call it. Some call it AD. I literally saw something say afterlife. I go, man, the internet is all over the place. It's another. It doesn't mean that, but anyway. Okay, so do you get it? All right. The point is, yeah. Some say CE common era, right? They go, let's not do the Christian thing. But why did they count backwards? You got to ask that, right? Now we're going forwards, right? You would think that's logical. Who would count backwards? Who would say it's 607? Now it's, what's next year? 606. Okay, right? You live, right? Now some go, well, Asia cultures actually read backwards, but do they? Maybe that's the right way to read. You know, think about it, right? When you go, oh yeah, that's right, they do read backwards. They do when you think about it, right? You know, right? Or however you look, right? Backwards, right? It's the way that easy, you know. Look at manga. Manga is you read from the back cover, not the front cover. No one knows that? No. Okay, so the point is this. Okay, now, if you put that and you say, okay, well, what makes sense, right? We're all going in forward time. Yay! But did they really run out of like numbers and go like, well, now we're at 1. What happens next? It's obvious. So that's going to happen, right? No. Did they not count that way is my question. Did we say later those are the numbers and that is the math? Because this is how we calculate now, right? What happened at 1? I think that's a very important question that people need to ask. People that are like, you know, read the Bible, they go, well, obviously we know what happened at 1, you know, right? But then others go, yeah, but we don't believe that. And you go, all right, okay. So my point is everybody's math is off, but just let's bring it together and go, okay, you calculate that there, got it. What's the year now? That's all I need to say. What's the year now according to that math there? All right, awesome. Keep with that. I want to line it up. That way I can have something add up because I think there was information lost along the way. Nobody talks about, okay, I'll give an example, right? 70 CE. Everybody talks about that, at least people that read the Bible. In 70 CE, something really big happened, okay? Like huge, right? Do the math. Do the research. It's very interesting. 70 CE. But then after 70 CE, it goes a little like here, there. And then you got 80, and then you got 100. And then you have a lot of like in between from 100 to like, you know, the kings, right? You know, like of Castle, right? Kings, well, they lasted. But the point is this. What happened in the middle? I think there's a lot of questions there that people need to ask. Just saying. All right? So there you go. That's the answer. And you're probably going, why do you go all over the place? Here's why. Okay, it's simple. No one's given me an answer, and I need the answer given because there's something that I need to add up. It's very simple. Okay, if the math is 2023 for us, majority, around the world, we all say that, right? Okay, even computers say that, right? At some point, though, why do we count backwards? And is that just us in the hemisphere of where technically, I mean, let's think about it. I know people are all sold out right now about America and all that, but seriously, you guys, you know, your father's father and your father's father, technically, when you go far back enough, really wasn't America. They came from somewhere on probably the opposite. Well, that depends. I'll give you an example. There are people maybe watch, I don't really know, that are from other parts of other areas, okay? But now maybe they're in America, maybe they're not. I don't know. We got Tuan Lin Duan tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Let's see. And we got somebody else tuning in as well. Let's see. Shrihari Korala. Okay, awesome. So, see? Knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so the point is this. Let's just say, okay, in the opposite side of the land, around 1, what we count 1, what was happening in your side of the land, and let's see how it lines up. A lot of people don't understand this, but they need to. Asia countries, okay, actually have a different, like, history. They have a long life, certainly. And nobody thinks about Eskimo at all, but they should, right? And then nobody thinks about South America, but you should. You should line it up and say, oh, got it. Now, of course, whoever rules over everyone kind of takes over and says, okay, this is the year we're on. It's technically Britain, America, but whatever. Before it was America, it was Britain, right? Britain really kind of said, hey, and that came kind of like from Rome, and you go far back enough, you go, okay. But when Rome was in power, they did not have power in South America, what we call South America, right? Whatever it was called then, right? Maybe a lot of that was buried. They have a lot of earthquakes, a lot of volcanoes, so I get that. But the point is this, they have a lot of history there, and I think a lot of it is underground, and it might be on Earth soon. I think that's going to be the answer. And when it's on Earth, just remember, say, okay, I get it now. That, because people discount it. They shouldn't. It's right there. Okay, everybody goes, okay, I believe in the Bible, but, and I do have theories on this because I did actually go to Cancun, and I said, whoa, that's a snake for a reason, all right? And why are they sacrificing hearts, obviously, and doing human sacrifices? I got questions on that. I think I know who that is. Okay, but the point is this, right? Okay. Here's my thought. Okay, so while, you know, everything was happening in the part of area that it was happening, you know, we'll just call it the Bible, whatever. The point is this. In other parts of the world, obviously things are happening. That's all I'm going to say. It's obvious. It's not that hard. A lot of people fight it. It's obvious. It's not that hard, right? India's like, yeah, we have a culture we don't even talk about. We probably should. You should. You know, they have a very long culture. Oh my God, right? So that's the point. That's the point. You know, so that's why when some people, like you mention certain things, they go, man, you are. I go, no, I'm open. I'm open because I need to know the math. There's a reason, okay? Because I think we're heading to another precedent, okay? Now here's where, and this is why people are like, no, we think it's a prophecy, circle, the guy, right? And all those little symbols, right? Because certain things kind of go in a, and I've seen it, usually with politics, but I think that's kind of like made to happen based on certain news, right? But the point is this: there are certain like things that happen again and again and again. It's called a cycle, right? Kind of like seasons, but the seasons are off. Okay, they're off. All right, that's what I think Jess was really saying. It's like, have you noticed the weather's kind of odd? Okay, now I don't really tour his area, but I know they are here. But it's called June Gloom, so technically it's on here. There, I don't know. But the point is this: okay, something's off, and when he says it, I know he just knows. I don't know how he knows. He just knows. He says things beforehand. I always tell him that there's a reason, and some people do that. They say things beforehand. They don't know why, but they do. Okay, so here, all right, here it is. You ready? Okay. If Noah was there are other cultures that have a story about a water event. Think about it. Okay, now, in certain places in South America, what does it say South America? There are underground. Why do they go underground? Right? There are certain drawings underground. Why are they underground? Is it because they could? Underground caverns or certain, they call them all kinds of things. But you can have water all the way through, but because there's a pocket of air, you have a lot of, you can be underground. It's like a bubble, but they're going to breathe it up at some point. That's true. I don't know. All I know is that they have certain areas, like if you're a scuba diver or you dive, you can actually come up and in, and there's a lot of air. But where's it coming from? I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe it's just a few people that actually went underground. Anyway, that's my theory. I'm sticking to it. I think some people went underground when there was a huge deluge. And I think they're on the opposite side of the world, which Noah was like, dude, I don't know you. And they're like, dude, I don't know you. So I think that happened. I think you need to look at South America for that answer, right? Everybody agrees it was either in Africa or in the mountains, like, on that side of the world. But nobody accounts for South America, and they should. It's right there. What? It really is right there. It's not hard. Like, just do, call it a world. Well, that's the thing. Okay, and I said this. Nobody understands this. I don't know why you guys don't understand this. But the point is this. Okay, when there were certain people alive, right? Think about it. There were certain people alive. Doesn't mean everybody knew the answer, right? Meaning, okay, I'll give you an example. 607, let's just throw that out there. Everybody agrees that. Okay, Babylon. Okay, when Babylon was alive and well, Eternals, right? They didn't exist, obviously. That's a movie. But it kind of answers that in there, right? When they were alive and well, what was happening on the other side of the world that they didn't even know existed? Because they didn't know, according to what we know. We know that they knew that landmass, right? Alive and well. China, Asia, all that. Very old culture. Even Russia. Russia knows this, all right? Russia, old culture. That's why they go, dude, this is old, right? Yeah. Now, but nobody counts for the other landmass. Did it break apart? Pangea, right? What was that? When was that? How did that happen? There's a whole thing unaccounted for, right? And I go, why is that unaccounted for? It should be pretty obvious. I mean, science is so advanced now. I mean, they're going down underground with like radar and satellite. And they're going, wow, didn't know that was there. Didn't know that was there. Had no idea that was there. Wow, right? And I go, right? Smart. Let's do the math now. Let's add it up, man. Because I think we're hitting another precedent, and it's really bad because we're not accounting for certain things that happen all the time, right? And they always say this. They go, there are, certain things that happen at certain times. But I think the math is off because something is happening around the world, and it's not good. But let's say it is good. Let's say it is good. I think it's good for, honestly, anyone who figures it out. Because that's the great thing about humans. We figure it out. If we had to go to space, let's say there was an asteroid coming at us, could we survive? The answer, yes. Yes. Would you call that the Ark? No. But they usually call it ARC, right? ARQ or something else, right? Because it saves people, right? It's always there. Every science fiction you've ever seen is called ARC for a reason, okay? Because it saves, right? And they put a lot of DNA there. Every single animal has DNA ready to go. You don't believe me, huh? Do the research. It's very interesting. And they also have diseases. I don't know why they put diseases there. Anyway, so they have it ready to go, and they can go into space, Have they already? Is the question. I don't really know. But would you be invited? The answer? No. You wouldn't be invited. No. President? Yes. You? No. No way, Jose. Right? You gotta be smart. You gotta be somebody, and they gotta have room for you. So the answer? No. You die with the rest of the planet. Right? That's asteroid. Bye. Okay. Can't do anything. Let's go in outer space. There you go. And they're ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay. This is what we get on. Boom. We go. All right. You see the president flee into outer space? We're dead. Okay. Where do we go? According to some people, we just die. All right. And other people go, well, no. The Bible has a promise. It says we will. This will not be made to totter. I go, it totters all the time. It literally wobbles. But no, but the point is, I get it. Everlasting, right? It says new earth, right? New, then you go, but wait, what is that with the old earth? I go, no, you don't get it. It's been there the whole time. There's a promise that it will survive. Come on. That's why we're still here. So let's hope on that. Okay, now, and that's why I go, but not everybody knew that on South America, right? So think about it, right? No one knew in South America that it was happening on the other landmass prophecy right, but technically they had their own prophecy. That's where the calendar kind of comes into play. That's where Aztec, you go, wait a minute, that makes sense, right? They say Maya, whatever. The point is this: the calendar in South America makes sense to the people there because they go, yep, it's a cycle, right? Then they got obliterated, right? Who infiltrate and or diseased them. I think disease is a thing. I gotta watch that other movie with Mel Gibson, Apocalyptic or something like that. Anyway, they come in, they bring their diseases, boom, they die. But they have things written down, and it's usually in underground caverns. Why do they go underground? Maybe they're used to flooding, right? Think about it. Storms. Well, that actually makes sense. So let's say storms actually infiltrate South America, which they do when it's humid. And boy, is South Hemisphere humid. But that's the question that I have. Okay, when you talk about the world, you got to think like this, okay? The Bible, everything else, right? Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, okay? Was it dry up? Northern Hemisphere? Is it wet? Southern Hemisphere? Well, that's the thing. It's getting wet everywhere now. So that's a question. What's happening, right? And no one's asking the obvious. What happened then? I think it's happening now. I think that's what's happening. But South America is becoming the northern side, and northern side, I don't even know what's happening there. But I think everything is becoming more deluge-ish. So we're seeing more storms, more cycles of like cyclones and like hurricanes, which is why back to the insurance thing that I was talking about. The insurance thing, that's why they're not paying out. There are so many claims right now that insurance hasn't done the math, and I think some have. They said, we're not paying that out. They're going to get sued. Okay, that's number one. But they're also going to get bought out. So there's going to be a lot of name changes. All of a sudden, you're going to say, where did that go? That's why. Okay, so flood insurance, get it, especially if you're in Florida, because that's coming up, right? And have they done the math on that? It's still there, right? Are we still on that same thing? Because it could change, 3 feet underwater at some point, right? That's what we said about months ago. So the point is this: when that happens, right? If you're at sea level, bye-bye. You're home, bye-bye. I said this to people last year. I said, don't buy in Florida, especially if you're at sea level. Go high, okay? But if anybody knows Florida, it is flat, right? So that's called water come in. There you go, all right? Now, we thought in the early 2000s, I remember reading this, oh, that's going to happen like in 100 years. It's not going to happen right away because everybody was watching Waterworld. Do you remember that? They go, could this happen? Well, Waterworld was made for a reason. Ask Costner. He knows. You say, okay, Waterworld, will it happen? He goes, well, in the future, it may at some point. But you think, oh, that's thousands of years, not anytime soon, because they have little guilt things, right? That's a science fiction. That's what they say. But I say, yeah, but it's there for a reason. Because the water, how does it come up? Or are we going down, right? But it's really coming up. So where's the water coming from? People go, I don't know. I mean, it's coming from somewhere, right? So that's the question. What is happening to the Earth? Why are certain areas going underwater, right? Deluge, right? But it's not a whole deluge. It's a little deluge. So Florida will be like the Atlantis. Is Atlantis there in Florida? I believe it is. I think certain islands have gone under, which we didn't even know, right? And now certain satellites going, whoop, what's there? Wow, look at all that, So that's the thing. I think in a way, if you do the math there, I think it's very interesting. You'll see certain, like maybe it's been rising slowly. You're like, where did the water come from? I really don't know. Oh, that's right. Polar caps. So when the polar caps, which had all that freeze, right, where it's dried up the water, I think, is now melting. What is it? Because you're going, but it's cold. It doesn't make no sense. It's been melting for the past few years. And when it melts in certain, that's why they say, oh, God, the fact that glacier broke off of that landmass means that it's going to be in the water. Oh, no. That's what's creating water rising. It's not from the air. I mean, it is there, too. But the point is this. It eventually gets to the air, and then all that. But if the polar caps melt, which some say it is and is, Then others say, no, it's not. It's obviously cold still. But you go, yeah, but those big glaciers that actually melted and then are in the water melt at some point. And then that water becomes more water. That's why you have, yeah, Florida, bye-bye. So that's why I say, Florida, you got to move. I got friends in Florida. I go, move, okay? Go to Georgia or go somewhere north. Anyway, so that's I keep saying it. No one listens, all right? I need to talk to smart people. The point is this. You guys are smart. Get it? Smart all around the world. But the point is this, okay? Landmass is going to go bye-bye in certain areas at sea level. But it's not going to be extreme, okay? So it's not like the day after tomorrow, that movie that I love, because that's extreme weather, going really extreme. All in some areas, you go, man, cyclones are not what they used to be. Like you go, that was a category 5, that's a category 8. Do the math. You guys really need to change that, okay? Because your math is off. You stop it at category 5, but it's now an 8. Did that always happen? The answer, in some areas, it actually did, right? In the Sahara, in the desert, there's a lot of storm. My God, they have like a wall coming at you, right? But that's a sandstorm, they call it. But now we're having that happen over here when it comes to a big cloud, okay? And that brings a lot of water, okay? So we've had some pretty bad things that happened in the early part of 2023. Now we're entering summer, which means we're going to have what we call, that's normal to us, right? Cyclones happen all the time but we're already ahead. And that's what you're going to see in the next few months. You're going to see certain broadcasters saying, wait a minute, hold up. Why does this make sense? They're going to say, in essence, this. They're going to say, we had probably the most amount of record that we've ever had in any, year. And they're going to say that. And you're going to say, what does that mean? It's simple. If you do the math of the last 100 years, okay, we're ahead in a really bad way. That's why insurance claims are not going to get paid. That's why I say move, just get out of the area. There's certain areas, man, watch the news. Seriously, we saw it. And I said, Mom, what do you think that is? Lester Holt actually went to Florida, and he's like, in a way, you're like, because he doesn't really report, but he kind of reports. He goes, so wait, are they going to pay? He doesn't even ask that. He just asked, so they haven't paid. Interesting. And it happened months ago, right? Insurance companies, you go, no, they're going to pay. No, they don't. They deny. You know why they deny? They look at anything and everything, and they say, nope, deny, because they don't want to pay it. They don't have it. That's what people don't understand. Okay. Now, insurance companies, they do have it if they just do the obvious, okay? Invest. That's what I say, okay? But that's the problem. They invest in the wrong things, so they don't have enough money to counter all the extreme weather happening or extreme disasters. So when you see those disasters, just do the math. That's why they say, oh, government will help. Government, boy, oh boy. Politics. Okay, so the point is this, okay? You have to go, okay, what is going to happen when insurance companies don't pay? People are going to get mad. They're going to get upset. They're going to say, what the, right? We got to get Mia back. God, we got to have fun. Okay, she goes, what the what, right? I don't know if she says it right away. It's funny as well. Okay, so the point is this. Okay, I know I said the H-E double hockey sticks. But the point is this, okay, because it's funny. But the point is this, okay, happy is happy when happy is happy. But is happy happy? Yes, when you're happy, but you need to be happy. So be happy all the time, okay? Now, here's how you happy, okay? Know the math. When you know the math, you'll understand there are things that are happening in the world. But when you understand what's happening in the world, then you understand what's happening around the world. When you understand what's happening around the world, then you understand what's happening with you and I. Basically with us. Okay, because what's happening is I'm not going to go to like a area where it's at, sea level. Why would you move there? Get out of the area. Don't buy there, okay? Sea level, buy, okay? It's going to be underwater, guaranteed. Florida, now here's a great thing. I say, see, we're seeing history again. Everybody goes Atlantis, right? They go, where's it at? And some say, that's a myth, that's a fairy tale. Yeah, because there's been a lot of movies about that. But was it a place at some point? And did it get underwater? Well, that's Florida. That's why I say that. Florida is going to be the Atlantis, because there's no way the water's going to recede anytime soon. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So some of you got it. We're going to be, in a way, tropics. In certain areas, okay? That's why I say, get ready for it, okay? Now, the cold weather, especially here in California, we get gloom weather technically here. And we get nice weather compared to everybody else. But in the northern part, like Canada and down, Canada's going to get cold. So you go, well, there you go. That's where the water, Arctic. Yeah, but there's a problem with that, okay? So here's the problem. It's very simple, okay? If you do the math, you go, okay, the water's got to go somewhere. I say, no. If it actually gets in the northern and the southern cold, that'd be great. But right now it's hot for a reason. I think technically the tilt is off. And they've been saying it for years. They said there's a polar shift coming. But I don't think they say it right. They say there's like a compass thing going on. And I say, I know, I saw it when it happened in 20-something. But the point is this, okay? It's very simple. Okay, seriously, science, you got to talk together. Okay, here's what happened. I think I could be wrong. The sun doing all kinds of things. It does what it does, right? They say, okay, it's for years to come, right? Right? It's not going to die out anytime soon. Now they're seeing other areas of space go, that's happening, that's interesting, but they're saying it happened years ago, and now we're barely seeing it. They're going back to that old 80s thing. Math was off in the 80s. We're going back to that. That's dumb. It's happening as we see it. When you see light, you'll see it, okay? Anybody that challenges me, I guarantee at some point you're going to say, wait, that makes sense. You turn on the light. It does not take time for it to get to you when you're in the room, okay? We're in, I don't know if we're in the middle. I don't think we are. I think there's another part in the middle of like space, whatever it is, foreseeable space. How far can we see? Now, that's a great thing about the telescope. The telescope can see far, right? Okay, so that's the thing. When it's on, it's on. You turn on the light, boom. You turn off the light, boom. Okay, it's happening as we speak. It didn't happen years ago because I'll give you an example. And somebody made sense of this. They said, okay, if you were in that part, let's say Earth was in that part, and we were looking at this part of space, are we seeing the future? Doesn't make sense. We're not the future of the past, right? You say, well, they're gone. Well, they're gone, man. Is it coming soon? But the point is this. You get it? So we're seeing as it's happening. We're not, if we were in that part of space, and even scientists would say, yeah, that's actually true, you would see the future if you're looking at that. You'd be like, wow, Earth is so ahead. Huh. All right? They've already seen some. I know they haven't let it out there, but anyway, there's some stories about certain like civilizations that they actually see with the I think that's why NASA is like, we don't know what to do. But it's simple. It's simple. You just let that information out. People are ready for it. Are they? They're not. Okay, that makes sense. Panic. All right. So the point is this. Okay, here it is. It's very simple. All you need to do is focus on what's going to happen in the next couple of years. That's all you need to do. Don't panic. Okay, and it's simple. Higher. Don't buy, and those prices are gonna drop. But they know it's coming. They know it's coming. Yeah, water. It's going to flood more. Okay, so that's a problem. And you can't even get insurance for that. Insurance companies do not want to pay. Go with the history of at least the last few months and say, have you paid that insurance? And they go, no. Why not? They'll sell it to you, but they won't pay out. They're gonna say it. Acts of God. I guarantee it. They're going to say, well, that's an act of God. That's what flood insurance is, you dummy. Seriously, right? It's right there. Nah, you can call anything acts of God. I thought you didn't believe in God. Are you a faithful person? Do you even believe in that? Do you believe in evolution? What is it? Do you believe in creation? Do you not believe in creation? How it could be acts of God? I would call that out. I'd be like, psh, just because I may believe doesn't mean you believe. Therefore, you should not say acts of God. I think that's a very general term for something that you say, oh, that's not us. What is us? That's called, we live on earth, man. It's we deal with it, right? You get money along the way, and then, you're supposed to pay out. That's how they make their money. People go, how do insurance companies make their money? On everybody who pays in, right? It's like a car accident, right? If everybody had a car accident all at once, would they pay? No, they wouldn't, right? Your monthly that you pay for your car insurance, right? You're paying in. You hope one day you don't need to use it, but at some point somebody else gets in an accident, that's where they take the money from, and then they put it there. But guess what? They don't hold on to it. They make investments. So if those investments go bad, and it's like, uh-oh, right? Then that's a problem. They don't have the money to make it. So you go, why do insurance companies exist? It's honestly to make money. It's always to make money. So that's what they do. They take the money that you gave them, they put a certain amount, and they say that's investment, boom, we're going to make money on that, and they make money on the money. That's what investment does for insurance companies, okay? That's what it is. It's very simple. But if those go bad, and they have a certain amount of money that's allocated for it, and I guarantee they have the money. They're just going, because it's all happening at once. And that's the problem with the year 2023. 2023 and 2020, we'll see. I don't know about the future. But 2021, 2022, and 2023 are going to be the 3 years that are going to go, what happened with the Earth, okay? Something happened, and they have been talking about it for a while, all right? Forget about Paris climate. Forget about, like ecology and like, EPA science. Forget about all that. They all had said at some point in the 80s that there was something coming called the greenhouse effect, all right? But I think the math was off. Now we're seeing the effects of that happening. But a lot of people are like, is it going to happen? Come on, a couple degrees, big deal. But people don't understand science. When they understand science, the scientists will say, you guys are not listening to us. And then they have people bought for it that go, oh, it's not really a thing. Come on, think about it like later, like hundreds of years later. Maybe your kids are going to deal with it, but you're not going to deal with it. That's where other people go, well, then let's think about the kids, seriously, because, I've got grandkids. And then other people go, yeah, but, focus on you. Don't focus on them. And so that's where you go, wow, selfish. And I say, yeah, selfish. Let's be giving as much as possible. But let's say, because they have some pretty cool advancements in science. There's an article here. I'm going to bring it up because it's actually very interesting. It's very, very interesting. They actually made some new. Oh no, that's not working. They're making some new advancements, and you go, "What? Are you kidding me?" And people are going, "This is great," and then others are going, "Well, this is awesome." Let's see. I'm going to the news. Anyway, look, here's the story. Okay, which you really need to know. There are things that people know, and there are things that people somewhat know, but they don't know all the way, and they need to know. When they know that, then they understand, oh, I know what's happening to the earth, and it's this. People are going to be, yes, mad, upset, and angry, but they'll also be understanding if they understand how to pay for things. They right now do not know how to pay for things. When they understand how to pay for things, then they'll understand how to make like a lot of things happen for themselves, right? Then they're happy, right? That's when people are happy. When they're not happy, it's because they're going, dude, I cannot pay that. I cannot pay that. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't, So they're like, they're just all the time angry. They're angry at that person, that person, that person, that person, and upset at that person and that person. Okay, I'm really trying to find the article. Anyway, it's a new development. It's a really good drug. Oh, I may have gotten rid of it. Shoot. Okay. Anyway, long story short, maybe it's here. There are a lot of people that are really happy now because there are certain advancements in medicine, and the medicine's really good. It's amazing because there are certain things happening that you go, oh my God, I cannot believe. That makes sense. Sorry, I've seen somebody get sued over something. But look, the reality is there are some things that you can get over, and there are some things that you just cannot get over. And I'll have to look it up later. Anyway, that's kind of boring now, so it's like, all right, whatever. Let's see. Yeah, I had it earlier, but I'm like, man, it's gonna bore you to death. All right, so I'll find it. I'm sure I'll find it. Here it is. Scientists set AI to work on finding vaccines to combat the next disease X. They already know what disease X is. Sad. But AI will help, even though it's malfunctioning, it will help certain drug companies go, wait a minute, we have the cure. And that's why you're going to see a lot more cures happen all of a sudden. They're not going to say AI did it, but it's AI. Because it looks at kind of like the way they put everything kind of like, okay, they number everything, right? And then when they number it, it goes, oh, well, that number's off. Because it's really good at seeing what you did wrong. It's really good. You just put in whatever it is, you got it not limited. You seriously got to give it unlimited. Then it goes, oh, you're wrong there, there, and there. You got to put this there, and this there, and this there. Boom. There you go. Like that. Because it happens really quick. That's what AI is really good for. So a lot of cures are going to happen all of a sudden. You're going to be like, but they're going to charge for it. They're going to charge up the wazoo. So then you're like, well, how can I get money for that? Then you go, well, insurance will pay for it. Insurance goes, yeah, we'll pay for it for a little, not a lot, because not everybody wants it. So then that's the problem. Then you go, okay, well, how can I get that? How much is it? And you go, oh my God, that's a lot of money. So there you go. All right, I'll figure it out. Anyway, there's a lot of new developments when it comes to certain medication and or drugs is what they're calling it. Yeah. So that's the thing. I think the exciting thing is this. There's a lot of people that are going to make sense, and it's this. Okay, there's a lot of things happening around the world, but you need to understand it's happening. All right, there is no we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it. We should have listened. Okay, that's where we're at right now. We should have listened. Now, where do we go with it next is really the question. Well, honestly, we adapt. That's the only way to go. There's no other way, right? That's it. We just adapt. That's it. There is no other way. We adapt, and that's where we're at. We're at the adapt stage. So when you understand that, then you will not, with all the politics stuff, just that they're going to say, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Right? And then other people will say, no, worry about it. Those are what I call smart people, but then they'll be discredited because they'll be like, oh, they're quacks. So don't be that, okay? Don't be the person to say, oh, they're quacks. Those will be the dumb people. You go, do you see that? They go, well, I live in a good area. And it's simple. You say, you live in California, don't you? They go, yeah. Good weather here. But if the weather were bad here all of a sudden, they would go, oh, boy. They cannot deal with tornado. We had a couple tornadoes here, and they're like, what do we do with that? And if you look at the day after tomorrow, it's really tornado, seriously. So yeah, like near Capitol, what's that record company? Yeah, that. So you really gotta watch the movie. Then you go, wait a minute, that's happening right now. I go, yeah, exactly. But the extreme thing at the end, that does it kind of happens when there's like a tsunami and then the ship comes in. But poor New York, my God, New York's gonna be underwater at some point. Yeah, that's the point. So don't be at sea level, okay? That's number one. Number two, it's in every movie that we watch. That's why it's there. It's like they do the math. They go, just so you know, it's going to happen at some point. So that's why it's there. But that's what you need to know. Still looking for the article. I know it's here somewhere. There's a lot of advancement. Oh my God, it's so amazing. They have one. Let's see, no, not that one. To actually get rid of certain addictions. That's what it is. That's what it is. You go, that's not a cure. I go, well, it kind of is when you think about it. Because in a way, addictions can cause other problems in your body, right? And people go, I cannot get away from this. You can if you get this. I don't know how much it's going to be, but that's kind of new. So that came up, and I said, oh, that's kind of cool. But people don't get how that's going to go long term. I go, you got to invest long. When you invest long, then you get it. Someone made sense to me. We may post it. It was actually, we'll talk about it later. Anyway, the point is this. There's a lot of things happening around the world. So just know, okay, will it affect maybe you? Probably it will not. Or probably it will. And if it affects you and you live in an area where there's a lot of storms, Florida, listen, I know. She always goes, it's nice here. The weather's nice. She lives on a yacht. Okay, guarantee she's going to complain about, I don't know. She'll complain. So the point is this, okay? We have people watching all around the world sometimes, and especially you guys in India. We appreciate you. But there are people around the world that sometimes they watch and they go, what's that going to be eventually? And I go, well, if you live at sea level, that's it, leave. But if you live at sea level, sea level is a thing, all right? So be there, okay? But when it comes in, you should move. Always have a backup plan. Just get out of the area. Don't think, it's going to recede, it's going to be fine. The next year, no, it gets worse. And I think that's the answer here. I cannot find the article. No, that's the other article. All right. Well, I'll figure it out. Anyway, the point is this. Okay, so there are, a lot of things happening, and that's what you need to kind of really understand. And when things happen, you just got to be like, okay, what am I going to do? And it's honestly move, all right? I keep saying it. I said it to people of Ukraine. I said, move. There's no way you're going to combat that 100%. You have a world power, even if the U.S. says they're going to back you up. Look at that. What's happening there? Yeah, that. You're, bye-bye. So it's like, just don't. And just move. Take the safest route. Do what animals do. Go away. Now, if you see animals go in a certain direction, ask the question, why are they going, especially all of a sudden? Because animals know. Follow them. Okay, that's the answer. Go and follow them. Okay, they understand. All right? In the movie, they actually have rats going, in a certain direction. Follow the rats. They always know how to get out for some reason. They just know. Birds, follow the migration. If they migrate at a certain time, you go, that's odd. Then, you go, okay, there's a reason for that. That's all you need to do. It's simple. All right, so. But people don't understand that. It's like right there. It's been there before us. We are new. Why are we new? Well, there's a lot of questions about that, whether you're a faithful person or not. Some people say aliens, right? I say, well, we're here. That's obvious. So, we're as good as we're going to get with smart right now, because, man, some people are dumb. And then there's just, people that go, okay, I get it, but, I got to figure this out. What do we do with this? I say, well, you can figure it out. You just got to, know the answer of what you're trying to get, and it's called be safe, be alive, get through the next, whatever that is. I don't know if it's a year or two, but just get through it when it comes to climate, because climate is getting really bad. And when, that becomes a thing, you got to be really just like, okay, we move. Okay. I said, worst case scenario, I said, look, if it gets really bad here, if a certain set of things happen, then we just move. It's simply pick up and go. All right. It's not that simple always, right? If there's a tornado and it obliterates a whole town. Do you remember that? Miles. What was it, a lot of miles? I don't remember. I hate quoting things and people say you said that. So I know, whatever. It was a lot of miles, right? I said from LA to I forgot what I said. Anyway, it was a lot of miles, and they said that happened, and that gets buried. You wonder why? Money. No one's got money for that. They're not going to pay all that. We had some of the biggest storms, tornadoes, or storm weather that obliterated homes and for miles. But nobody asked the question, why are they why do they stay that way? There's going to be towns just completely kind of like dystopia. I mean, seriously. There are a lot of people that go, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's because insurance doesn't want to pay. So some of the people, they don't move. They just get kind of like all those movies that you see. You don't want to go in those parts of town at some point. You just go, I'm good. Go where it's safe. Okay, don't go there because they get weird. Okay, trying to make ends meet. They go depression era really quick. The insurance companies are the ones laying them down. That's the answer, okay? Because they have insurance, but you quote a little thing. That's what they sue. I go, no, I'm not going to sue. But then years later, they go, why did I? why did I not sue, right? Because there are other people go, no, I sue, and but then they don't watch the news, they don't watch things. They just go, oh my God, I hate life. And then there are problems down the way. And I go, don't have problems down the way. Just remember, sue. That's like, because they're gonna sell it to you, but they're not gonna pay out, and that's the problem. Go with companies that pay out. All right, but even then, you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be like, how come they don't pay out? Because there's disaster, right? Think about Canada, for example. All those wildfires, didn't know it was a thing. It's all of a sudden a thing. So the point is, like, this just happens. They happen all of a sudden. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. So you got to be careful. That's what I'm going to say. And then I'm going to say, just know that things are going to happen, and then know that it's going to happen eventually. We're all going to be underwater at some point. No, we're not. Go high, you'll be fine. Go inland, you'll be fine. And that's the great thing. Okay, it's not doom and gloom. Okay, it's just called when you live in Florida or sea level. Boy, New York, you're next. There are certain parts of the country that if you're at sea level, move inland. That's all. It doesn't move all inland. That's dumb. It just moves a little higher, right? But when storm comes in, it brings in a lot. But does it recede? Well, it dries up, yes. But then it gets marshy, and then it gets wet, and then it gets all kinds of diseases because you got mosquitoes and stuff going, right? So they love that weather. Anyway, the point is this: move inland. That's the answer. Okay. So if you have a friend, think about opening your house to them. Say, you know what? I'm going to keep you safe because I don't think this is going to be good for you. And they'll be, yay, thank you. I so, appreciate you. Oh, my God, you're amazing. Thank you. They're going to love Florida when it gets finally back. And it may, like in years to come. But right now, for the next couple of years, not happening, man. Not happening. Just get out of there. Yeah, so that's the answer. Just get out of there. I cannot find that information. All right. Well, there you go. That's the story. So I'm going to stick to it. But here's what you need to know. Okay, it's very simple. There are a lot of things that happen. There are a lot of things that will they? I don't know. It's a year by year event, right? Someone say month to month. This is a month to month situation. But here's the thing. Is it day to day? No, not really. You get these warnings ahead of time, but when it happens, you go, wait a minute, why does this make sense? Because you've been listening and you've been saying, wait a minute, he said this. Some people, they even say, oh, I came up with that information. I go, no, you didn't. You came up because you listened. But the point is this, okay, whether you come up with it on your own or with us, the morning show, keep us on the air because we talk what is, not what, We've been talking since 2020 about what is, not the other, which is, it's just the, right? Come on, people. I keep saying this. Some people, they say this, and I don't know why, right? They say, oh, you talk Trump. Do you know I never talked Trump before 2020? I really didn't. I was told by one person, don't talk Trump. I said, okay, fine. That's easy. I don't talk Trump. But I talk coronavirus. Then I had to talk Trump, right? Then I have to talk Trump because Trump was like all over the place. Now, come on. He knew coronavirus existed. That's why he put all that together. People need to remember that. It wasn't Biden that crushed it. It was Trump that said, oh, man, we got to stay indoors. He's like, but it's okay. By Easter, we'll be fine, right? And then by Easter, not fine, surge, right? And then, oh, got to go on lockdown again. Okay. But that was during Trump. Okay. Then Trump was focused on obvious winning, but didn't. But he started it. So, but a lot of people that follow Trump go, did it? He started it. He denied it part of the way, not all the way. But so if he denies it, I go, but aren't you the one that said, hey, we have to go on lockdown? Right? He's the one who said it. Pull up that footage. It's right there. He said, there's so many back and forth things he says. I know. But anyway, that's the only time I talk about Trump. I know, in 2020, I talked a lot about politics. But the point is this. There's a lot of things happening, okay? And I said, if I were president, I would do this, this, and that. But I think a lot of people, I asked a lot of people, I say, what would you do if you were president? They come up with some smart things. But as of late, they've been coming up with dumb. Not going to lie. I'm like, let's talk world, not like, little. Seriously. So talk about world stuff, then you'll figure it out, okay? But you're not going to figure out the rate that you're going because, man, there are some things that are happening again, just like in 2020. It's really election mode. It's like you're going, why is this happening again? Why are we talking about this? Some of the photos are old, but you're like, why are we talking about this? This doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense. Like I see Pence back in the news. Ex-U.S. Vice President Mike Pence launches 2024 election bid. Let's see, Reuters. Joins crowded field in challenging Trump. Against Trump. Well, that makes sense. At some point, he goes Trump. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Oh, I'm going to read this. Former VP Mike Pence. Okay, I should, because the last time I got canned from, a certain place because they didn't like me talking about, whatever. So the point is this. Okay, I'm off the air technically, so I'm not on radio. So, but whatever. Okay, fine. I'll leave it alone. Whatever. My point is this. I guarantee it's going to go backwards, but I'll I don't want to get booted again. That's not going to happen, so forget that. For some reason, when I type all this, people just take a side and they go, well, I hate you. And I go, oh my God, but I talked about the virus and we're still here, thank God. But if you would have gone the opposite, guess what? Probably not here. A lot of broadcasters that said it's not a thing, it's a hoax, it's just made up, some are dead. They renege on that, and you'll see that video when you look it up. They said, why did I talk that way? I go, don't do dumb, I didn't do dumb. It's like saying cancer isn't a thing. At some point, cancer probably will, it'll probably always be a thing. It always has a way of changing. It mutates really, but it becomes resistant against certain drugs. That's why technically cancer thing goes, it rebounds in a weird way. But yeah, but there'll be certain cures that come along the way, right? And there are. Look it up. And then you go, oh, wow. But use it while you can, because then it becomes resistant, right? So it becomes resistant because, but again, while you can, while you're alive, right? That's what we're really talking about, right? What we should worry about is that we're alive right now, so stay alive as much as possible. Don't die. So many people, I talk to them, I say, well, why do you want to die? They go, what do you mean? I go, well, why are you, putting, everything to, it's not going to happen when it does happen. Have you been to the hospital? Do you know anybody in the hospital? Still a thing. Why making it so that they could potentially die? You don't know their immune system. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if they're sick for something else. You don't know if they still have coronavirus in the body. There's going to be a lot of people saying it's in the mind because a lot of people are losing memory. I talked to somebody, he goes, I don't remember anything before a certain year. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, if I didn't have email, I really didn't know this person. I don't know who they are. He's in his 50s. Dementia. Yeah. So that's a problem. Anyway, so that's the story. I'm going to stick to it. All right, people. Anyway, all right, I'm going to say that's it. I think you've had enough. But before I let you go, I'm going to say this really quick. Okay, here's what you need to know. There are things that are happening. There are things that are going to happen no matter what, but there are things that don't need to happen. Here's the things that will happen, but maybe they don't. All right, so let's hold off on that. Let's just say it may happen. Okay, whatever you think is going to happen, probably that. Then prepare for that. And then think positive as much as possible and say, you know what? I want to be ahead of that, right? I'm not sick. My mother's not sick. I keep her safe. But if she got sick, I'd be like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? But I don't want to be after the fact. I want to be before the fact. So here's what you need to know. China, okay, China. I'm going to look it up real quick for you because you're going to hate this, but you need to hear this. China, let's just call it what do you want to call it? A virus, a disease? What do you want to call it? Right? What do you want to call it? Whatever you want to call it, okay? I know you're like, why are we talking about this? Because people die. Okay, I want to talk about this ahead of time. Yeah, that's all needed. Politics, seriously. All right. Let me go to news. All right, they're calling it a wave. Let's just go with that. The wave, all right? Usually a wave comes and goes, all right? We've had waves here, all right? Now, come on, you cannot disagree if you're Trump. Think about it. Even Trump said, okay, he said, we'll get well before Easter. I said, we're not going to get well. There's no way we can get well. We're still getting sick. And we did. We had waves, right? Okay, so let's talk waves. Waves, you'll agree, I think. Okay, waves are happening, okay? Waves are what's happening in China right now, okay? Now they're saying mild, right? But it's still there. Okay, now, waves come and go, but there's a wave. And honestly, the way it kind of happens, it goes, for some reason, China and westward all around. Then it gets to us. This is going east for some reason. I don't know how that is. But it goes westward, right? So when it goes westward, it usually hits Europe before it hits us. Then it hits New York before it hits us in the U.S., right? Here in California, I say. So we're usually on the end of it. I don't know why, but we are. And we have been for some time, actually. When New York had a problem in 2020, we had a problem probably weeks later. Some would say a month or so later. But if you do the math on that, you go, wait a minute. See, that makes sense. New York was in lockdown way before here in like California, okay? And if you remember, actually, like Trump had a lot of vaccine, he had a lot of stuff. He got a bunch of stuff. Then he said this works, that works, and this works, even though he's not a doctor or whatever. So right, and he got well. He's one of those that get well. A lot of you, if you're alive, you got well. You may have had it once or twice, but I don't want to associate with you because that means you throw garbage in the wind. But here's the thing: what I want really you to know, it's simple. What happens there will happen here at some point. So just that, okay? It says this: should we be worried about the new wave? The answer, I would. Okay, here's the thing. I think California, okay? I'm in Pacific time. Right now it's 10 o'clock a.m., okay? In some areas, way later, okay? But here, if it happens here, we're kind of at the end of it usually. And then when it gets good there, I go, okay, focus on that. When China says no more, right, wave and or COVID or anything else, you go, we're going to be good, all right? And I think at the rate we're going, based on certain people that are very smart, we'll probably be there at the end of 2024 or 2025, but we're not there yet, okay? The conversation I had this weekend, boy, oh boy, dumb. I didn't say this to them because they're not ready for it, but I'd say, look, you can have that conversation about, woo, glad it's over in 2025, maybe 2026, because there'll still be some that still have it. And they're going to be so mad at you for saying it wasn't a thing. They're going to say, I thought you said it was over. How come I have it? Why am I still with it? What's going on? Right? That's where people really need to talk, because they're going to blame you. They're not going to blame me. They're going to blame you. They're not going to blame me, because I keep saying it. Even I go, maybe I'm on the wrong side of things, I don't know. But then I do the math and I do research and I go, oh, then I talk to the people that are smart and I go, oh, you're still figuring that out, huh? There's a virus you cannot explain. That's because it's a little different than COVID, because it mutated. There you go. But it's kind of COVID. Anyway, the point is this. Okay, there's going to be information. You're going, why do we need a COVID shot? Because they're going, we don't know how to get rid of it 100%. So saying, in essence, we got to live with it. But the people are saying, we don't need a face mask. I don't want to, I want to rub elbows with that person. I want to get sick with them, in essence, because you guys, now there are smart people. They go, no, I'm wearing a mask. I don't care how you look at me. And then there's some that they look at you kind of like, you're so dumb. I go, dude, you're dumb because you don't know what like your risk is. If an insurance company saw you day to day to day, they say you're a hazard. You're a risk hazard. You're a risky person in a bad way. Not like with gambling, even though you're gambling with life, seriously. So I don't gamble with life. I say, look, if you're safe, I'm safe. If we're safe, then we'll be safe together. Yeah. That's what I say, seriously. So if I hold back and I say, no, I'm not going, and then I find out they're sick, I go, there's something, there's an awareness, kind of like, okay, I'm going to talk about it. Because people know animals have a sixth sense, right? They don't know what it is, but it's called instinct to some people, and other people just go, no, it's a sixth sense, I don't know what it is. But they just know, right? And usually right before it happens, right? So follow certain animals. And if animals are attacking people on a ship, seriously. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. So there you go. Wave, okay? The wave is... is it here yet? I say parts of it is here, actually. That's why I think there's a certain thing happening. People getting sick. They're getting what they call cold symptoms again. Yeah, who knew, right? Flu symptoms are not really a thing, right? But will it come maybe November, December, and January? Possibly. And that's really the information. That's what you need to know. November, December, January, there may be something that comes. You go, what is that? They'll say, well, it's a flu. So get your flu shot. But I say, get your COVID shot. All right, get it in the fall. Because I'm going, where did the shot go? It was supposed to be a spring edition, but it was government. They squashed it. They said, no, we're back to the way it was. I go, man, you guys are going to get sick. You're going to get sick. I guarantee it. And I guarantee at some point they'll say, President, you need to get it. Because, people are getting sick with it, right? Remember when they met about COVID and then they got sick from the meeting that they were talking about COVID? Hilarious, right? Not hilarious where the people got sick. But the point is this, okay? The point is this. They're going to say, no longer a thing. They're going to say, wasn't it great when? Right? Because they're in politics mode. But when it becomes a thing in 2020, probably like, wow, until February, they finally admit it. 2024, 2025, February, March, April, we're still going to be talking about it going, I thought we were over it last year. No. That's what I keep saying. No one wants to listen. But if you want to listen, know this. It's going to happen. We're already there. The wave is coming, and there's no way to stop it. It's a new wave, by the way. I don't know how bad it is. It may be not as bad. But I say don't get it, because you never know what's coming long term with it. Because there'll be a lot of complications, just like with all the COVID that already was here. You may not be sick with COVID anymore, but when you go to the hospital or you go to the doctor and they say you have this, this, and this, you go, but I was healthy. Did you have coronavirus? Yeah, probably that. That's where everything is coming in like that. Everything is being blamed on coronavirus. There are some things that go, that's not coronavirus, it's something else. It's coronavirus, man. or the vaccine. So I'm not going to say that because that's already been a thing that was said. I go, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so, but I say at least you're alive, But now you got to treat that. There's certain drugs that actually cause certain things that actually they prevent, but then they cause it in some other people. Yeah, I say so. All right, that's all I'm going to say. There's the story. I'm sticking to it. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live well. Bye-bye, everyone.